Welcome to Call of the Herd, episode 7. I am Curran, joined by
Romario.
Romario. Wow, incredible.
And today we have a special guest.
We have a very, very special guest today, joining us. A lot of people know of our guest, just in the pre-modern scene, very active, an Enchantress killer. Please welcome Chris.
What's up, guys? Great to be here.
Surprisingly, he's only got 2 arms.
Only 2.
Chris, I guess you can explain the reference.
I have an octopus tattoo on my left arm, so 8 plus 2 is 10. It was like it was just like a dumb little joke between me and my tattoo artist, and it kind of stuck. And I was like, I need a new screen name, so that was like how it happened.
TenArms, that's how he came about.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, I do like math.
Good deal. So, Chris, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, people that don't know you, like how you got into Magic, how you got into playing Premodern, all that stuff.
Yeah. So for Magic, it was a rainy day in Southern California, probably, I don't know, September, October of 94. And I was in junior high. And I remember it was like lunch break, and there was this commotion of like this crowd around this kid. And someone was like, give him room, give him room. And I was like, oh shit, is there a fight? Like what's happening? And I look over and I push my way to the front so I can see. And this kid has knocked over like a box of Magic cards all over like the wet ground. And I'm like,
Oh, man.
what? And I'm like, what is all of this? And this kid next to me is like, oh, it's Magic. And I was like, what's Magic? And I remember the first card that I saw, it was Inquisition from the Dark. And I was like, what is going on? This is crazy. Little did I know I would end up looking like that guy when I lost my hair later. But I was so interested in what this was. And then it was just like pure neurodivergent hyperfocus for, 30 years, I guess, since then. So Fallen Empires was just coming out. I was like, oh man, this is so cool. It wasn't. But when Ice Age came out in 95, that was like when things really I started getting like more serious about it. And it's been a love affair pretty much ever since. For pre-modern, I had just moved up to Seattle, like right at the beginning of COVID in 2020, and we had been on lockdown for about a year, and things were starting to open up again. And there was an event in Seattle called Puget Sound Battleground. This was the one that was in 2021, so I think that was like the third one. And I had been practicing a lot for Legacy. I was really big into Legacy. I was playing green white depths, and I saw the side events, and I was like, oh, I want to see what other side events there are. And I saw pre-modern, and I'm like, what's that? So I was looking, and as soon as I read the description, my first thought was, oh my god, it's a format with all old frame cards. And I was so hyped. And so I immediately went online, looked for decks, found that Survival Welder was a deck, which was like so exciting for me because I used to play TNT in Vintage. It was like a workshop survival welder power juggernaut Triskelion deck, super sick. And so I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna play this. So I played that. I did poorly in Legacy. I got paired up against a dude who was like one of the slowest Miracles players I've ever played in my life, and we drew, and it just snowballed from there. It was terrible. I played into it. I got paired into another person that was um super slow, and it was just awful. And so I was super salty about like playing, like, practicing for months for this Legacy event. And I'm like, all right, I'm way more excited about this pre-modern event, so it's okay that I did badly in this. And then I played the pre-modern event and top forward. And it was just like the most fun I had ever had. Like I had in a really long time playing Magic. And that was kind of like the seed that eventually sprouted into my like undying love and dedication for pre-modern, and to like the detriment of all my other formats. Like I only play pre-modern and old school at this point, so
So
all the other
you kind of quit
formats.
Legacy at that point then.
It wasn't exactly then. It took another couple of years of me really trying, and then just being like exhausted with like all the new cards coming out, and you're like forced to keep up, and especially you have to like buy them twice if you play on Magic Online. And
Uh-huh.
um I'm not going to get on a soapbox about my complaints about contemporary Magic, but
Okay.
Premodern isn't really like a nostalgic format for me. It's more like a return to a time where I feel like a lot of decisions and like deck specialization matters. And it's like scary to try to be a deck specialist in a lot of contemporary formats because some new card could get printed that completely
Uh,
invalidates an archetype that's existed for years. And it's like, sucks to suck. Now you have to adopt the new thing. And,
yeah.
um, it's not as exciting for me. I like the idea that you can like really master a deck and it'll pay off in the end rather than playing a format that's
Rotating.
largely dependent on variance.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I gotta add on to that. I mean, I'm like pretty much in the same process that you've kind of gone through with regards to Legacy. Like right now, I feel like I'm in my fighting for my life phase to stay interested in the format to whatsoever. And I'm just kind of like forcing myself more over to play it at the moment, and I can feel myself just wanting to quit out. And like the way that pre-modern games make me feel, it's not a nostalgic thing for me. I didn't play during those times, when I learned the game or whatever, but it is harkens back to exactly what you were saying. Your decisions matter, your deck mastery matters, you're able to kind of like operate in that, and like you're not just invalidated by the printing of, let's say, orcish bowmasters. To just kind of ruin your experience and years of work put into a single archetype. So
Yeah. I think the years of investment is like a really good way of putting it because like I don't like putting a lot of time into something that's not going to pay off. Like I am very aware that this is like life is a temporary experience and I'm always thinking about opportunity cost and like am I spending my time wisely? And it was tough for me to leave Vintage and Legacy because I had made that part of, like, my identity as a Magic player, you know what I mean? Like, I've played these formats forever, and it's almost like, you're giving up something that's, like, a part of you, but I had to, like, come to the realization, like, the Legacy and Vintage that I used to love is just, like, not the same anymore,
Mhm.
and that was really hard, like, it took me a long time to, like, let go, but I found myself consistently frustrated with just like a lot of games being determined by like nothing I did mattered or like nothing my opponent did mattered. And like that's not exciting. Like I would much rather play a game where I lose, but it was like super back and forth and interactive, and we were both like playing around like multiple things and like I remember I had this I went to Origins many years ago in like the early 2000s, and I had the honor of playing against Kevin Crone, who was like at the time he was kind of like a role model for me because he was like really big on playing 5-color stacks. So I was kind of like a little starstruck. I was in my early 20s, I guess, at the time, and he was playing Tog. This is Vintage, by the way, and I was playing this like blue red um like Isochron Scepter control deck, and he had a Morphling, and or no, sorry, I had a Morphling. He had a Tog. I was like icing his Psychotog multiple turns, in a row, and I've got this Morphling, and I'm just attacking him for 3 at a time, and at the end of I had eventually won, and at the end of the game, this guy behind me is like, dude, you could have beaten him so much sooner. Why weren't you pumping your Morphling? And I was like, because he's got 3 volcanic islands open, and he could have, if I like tap out too much, like he could just like pyroblast or red blast the Morphling. And he shows me his hand, and it's like 4 blasts, and he's like, I just needed the other
Mana.
red source,
Mhm.
and like that was like such an insane, reveal because it was like, oh my God, I played around this perfectly, and like those games are really so satisfying. And I feel like as time has gone on, my time in other formats, like those instances have happened like fewer and farther
Yeah.
between, but those happen on a regular basis in pre-modern. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Like even when I lose, it's like this was like an incredible game with so much texture and so much depth, and like it just broke a little bit your way, you know, and like I'm fine with that. Um it's much more satisfying to lose a game that was like well fought than a game where nothing you did mattered and you were just totally helpless and like you might as well have just not existed, you know?
Nah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit like that. I think these days. Uh, I do think that when I got into Premodern, it was kind of like the format I was looking like how Legacy used to be in the past. I still play a lot of Legacy. I still have fun playing Legacy, but I do think that when I saw Premodern for the first time, I was like, oh man, that's the format that secretly that's what I wish Legacy was, because it kind of reminded me of like old extended and of course some of the standards. So for me, Premodern does have like the nostalgia still,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's
but
there for me too. It's there for me too, but it's less about like, oh, like Psychotog is good again versus like games and like decisions matter again.
uh-huh.
You know what I mean? That's like the nostalgia for like the a time where I was really excited about, you know, putting time in and investing and feeling like that investment actually like mattered and it
Gotcha.
actually delivered, you know?
Hmm. Also, just for reference, because I was curious, I forgot. That's what you mean by Inquisition.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, I had a funny story one time in a SCG event. Someone that made top eight, they meant to write Inquisition of Kozilek in their deck list, but
Uh-huh.
they wrote just Inquisition.
Oh no.
And I didn't know. That's when I found out. Apparently, according to the rules of Magic, if you write a name that actually like is a card that exists in Magic, then that's the card you expect to be in your deck when you're playing. So if
Yeah.
they had wrote something else that doesn't exist in Magic, they were like, "Well, we got to correct this." But since they wrote a card that actually exists in Magic, they're like, "Well, that's the card that should be in your deck, right?" And
Yeah.
yeah, but that's how I knew an
So
Inquisition
funny.
existed.
So
Uh,
funny.
but cool. So Chris, you said you Ice Age was kind of like when you first got into Magic, I guess you said, where you started understanding the game.
Well, I mean, it, you know, like I was still learning during Revised and Fallen Empires and all that stuff. Like you could buy Packs of the Dark, Legends was long gone, you
Hmm.
know. And then Ice Age came out, and that was like when my friends and I got started getting like more serious.
Hmm.
And we started, you know, making a bunch of wacky decks and just trying stuff. You know, we had I was like really big into my like probably my first deck that I actually like was cohesive was just like a black aggro deck with like Black Knights, Order of the Ebon Hand, Dark Ritual, Hypnotic Spectre, Unholy Strength,
Mm.
you know, Demonic Tutor, Singer Vampire, Hymn to Turok. Didn't have sinkholes, couldn't find sinkholes at the time.
Uh-huh.
But like, you know, and then like Necrogrot printed
Yeah, yeah.
and we were like, oh my god, this card's crazy. And you know, it was there was a goblins guy, there was a guy who played White Weenie, and there was another guy who like loved playing like green decks. He had like a deck that made a bunch of mana and he killed you with killer bees, you know. So it was like super sick. And then I discovered Stasis, and my friends were like, we don't want to play against this anymore. And I'm like, all right, fair enough, guys. Like
That was like Kismet stages, I think, right at that time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Kismet Stasis, and I had like a reset. I was like, I had like one, but I couldn't find more resets because I was a kid, I couldn't afford them and I couldn't find them. So
Yeah.
I was playing stuff like Disempower to like put it back on top of my deck.
Mm.
So it was
Well, at that time
yeah,
it was
keep it.
also it was harder. There was no TCG Player or Star City for you to buy cards online, right? For you to buy cards,
No.
it was a lot harder for you
It
to.
was
You had to buy from your
yeah,
LGS or maybe one of your friends had it, like depending where you played, I guess. Like maybe trade for it.
yeah,
Uh,
it was like literally like looking stores up in the phone book and begging my parents to like take me to those stores and like help, you know. So that was how we did it. Yeah.
cool. And then so pre-modern. When did you fell in love for? Oops, Curran. I think it was your microphone that did something. I was gonna ask you, like, when did you fall in love with the Argothian tribe?
Oh yeah. August of 2023 was when I first tried it out. I was living back in Southern California and yeah, I had been playing a little bit of Enchantress in Modern. So in Modern you get stuff like Sithis Harvest Hand and On Thin Ice and Utopia Sprawl and Abundant Growth and a bunch of like super sick stuff. But then Modern Horizons had come out, and so you got like Enchantress's Presence and Sterling Grove, which were like huge pickups for the deck, and Sithis, right? So you got all those printed, and I was like, this deck looks pretty sick, you know. Like my friend Eric had played a little bit of it, and I was like, I want to try this out a little bit in Modern, but I was I lost interest in Modern quickly. Like I was like, oh, this is a deck with so many decisions, and then like just a lot of times, like you just get like destroyed. Like I would just get like blown out by Oops All Spells or like Live and End or something like that. And it was like, all right, cool. Like another format where nothing matters, and it was like pretty frustrating. And I was like, I think there's like an Enchantress deck in Premodern, and I kept finding myself like doing like a palette cleanser going back to pre-modern. Like I would play some other format, I would get like really frustrated, and then I would like find myself like playing pre-modern in just like the specialty practice room, on Magic
Hmm.
Online. And I was like, this deck looks pretty sick. I think I'm just gonna get this deck and I'm just gonna try it out. This is a deck that looks like it has like a whole bunch of decisions to make, and it probably rewards format knowledge really well. So yeah, I picked it up. I went 3-2 at my first event. Um, got bodied by Fran, who was on like the green white Cataclysm Oath deck.
Oh, you mean like a
Um,
first event online then, I guess.
no, that was in person. That
Oh, it's
was
in
in
person.
person.
Okay.
It was a paper event. Yeah, we played at Nightwear, and he just like deadened me, like out of the game. But I did go 3-2, and I was like, man, I feel like I probably made some mistakes throughout this event. And I was like, at the end of the event, I was actually really excited because I was like, I know that I can do better if I dedicate time to this. And I was like reflecting a lot on my plays, and I was like, okay, like right now the deck is better than I am. Like I'm like I need to grow into what the deck is capable of. And my next two events I made the finals, and I was like, okay, this deck is real. But I started figuring out there were like a bunch of holes with like consistency, and um that kind of like set me on this stage of like reducing variance, making the mana base better, trying to find ways to make the games more consistent. And because I played a lot of vintage, in my past, I was like applying like Xerox theory of like trying to make a lot of the games the same. And that was what led me to finding, Miri's Guile and basically everyone except for this one dude in the Enchantress Discord, Dula. His name's Will. Everyone was like, Mary's Gal's trash. What are you talking about? Just play Sylvan. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like, it's turn one. This is like so important, And so that was like, there was like this long period of like testing and fine tuning. And the more I played it, the better I did. And I started like winning multiple events in a row. And I was like, oh my God, this is like real. Like, not only am I growing, it's like making me grow as a player, and the deck is evolving as I'm figuring it out, and I'm pushing the envelope, and I'm trying to make it better. And I was like starting to see like a real correlation between the amount of time I had invested into it with in relation to like my performance at events,
Hmm.
and that was like really exciting because it was like I am like I have agency here, I have control over like how well I do a lot of the time, and that was super exciting. And I was still making mistakes and missing lines, and I was still doing well anyway, and I'm like, "Oh my god, like if I put like a bunch of time into this, I could like probably be a monster with this deck, Like I'm doing pretty well now, and I still think I'm like messing up and I'm not playing optimally." And that was like that like clicked and really made me want to focus on it more than anything else, like magic wise. I was just
Hmm.
like, anything else I put my time into is time that I could have been spending just grinding more games and like learning the nuance and figuring stuff out that like I wanted to like fast track my path to just like mastering the deck.
Okay.
Man, the mindset speaks so much to me personally. Romario, I know that you are a multiple deck enjoyer, but all of this makes sense to me, like
Don't get me wrong, like I like playing different decks and like trying different stuff out, and I think it's healthy to have a palate cleanser and sometimes you like play so much of a deck you burn out, and you need to like take a step back, and you need to go visit somewhere else so that you can come back and appreciate it. But I'm at the point where I really feel like I need to do that. Like it's like it feels like home when I shuffle it up, and it's like visiting an old friend. You know what I mean?
Hmm. No, it makes sense. No, I think if you want to do well, like if your goal is to like do well, yeah, you should definitely stick to a deck, and especially like in a format like Premodern that quote unquote there's no new cards coming in, or except for like when one of them leaves us, like Parallax Tide, it definitely pays off for you to stick to the same deck and tinker with that deck until no, you think you got a good 75, and if there's any changes in the meta, then you make the appropriate changes, whatever. That's definitely the way to go if you want to do well. Don't do like me that like I play a different deck every time I sit in front of my computer to play a Magic Online. That's definitely not the way for you to do.
Yeah, but that's the more fun way to do it to a
I mean, I
degree
like it.
too. I
So
mean, I literally get this feeling sometimes of looking at these deck lists of, man, I could really sit down and play a few matches of that right now, right in this
Yeah.
moment. And then when it's later and I'm not thinking about that list as hard, I'm just like, well, I want to play Magic. I might as well just load up elves. Here we go, you know.
yeah, but then you
So
see guys create, and you're like, I miss you.
I miss you guys,
There
man.
you go.
Yeah.
No, I get it. No, I think Enchantress is definitely like a sweet deck too. I keep coming back to Enchantress in Premodern. I think I've said it a few times on this podcast here. Like maybe I know I listen to like small talk. People already started making fun of me for sometimes repeating myself, but I do think if I was gonna play an event in paper, if I want to win the whole thing, I would either pick Tinkerfling or Enchantress. I think those are my picks if I'm going to an event to try to get first place. I think those are the two decks I would play.
Yeah, they're both powerful, and I think there are a lot of decisions that there's a lot of decision making and game actions to keep track of in Enchantress. Devourer is like just like this laser focused.
Oh yeah.
It's like any 90s kids who ever played Contra is like, Devour is like the laser gun, right? And then like Enchantress is like spread. It just like handles everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um but I saw this one stream by Aspiring Spike, and somebody had talked to him in the chat about like winning an event, and I'm like paraphrasing on memory, but he was just like, look, and if you want to win an event, you have to pick a good deck, you have to play well, you have to get good matchups, and you have to run hot. And like everyone who wins an event, those things all have to be present. Like all of them have to be present,
Hmm.
and in most cases, like if you know how to play both of those decks, you definitely have a shot of like winning an entire event.
No. No. I mean, by the way, I'm not saying those decks are the only ones that can win. Like me personally,
Of course.
I do think that Premodern we have like 5 decks at like tier 1, but then we have like a million decks at like tier 2, and all those decks
Yeah.
can win an event. Uh,
Yeah.
like if you get the right matchups, like you can play
Oh yeah.
Pox. I don't know, if you're playing Pox and you get paired against Elves like 5 times in a row, you're probably gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
You get paired against Burn 5 times in a row,
You're
probably not gonna
having a
have a
bad
good set.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can no, we can make that case for a bunch of different decks in the tier 2 bracket, I think.
For sure.
But yeah, cool. So you guys played a couple of events. Was it a week ago now or 2 weeks ago now? Actually, I have the dates right here.
Oh,
Actually, I should have just
the
looked.
weekend prior to this one that just happened.
The
So
23rd and 25th of January.
okay,
Yes.
I guess you guys want to explain what event was that and where you guys
Yeah.
played and all that stuff.
I'll kind of go over the logistics of the event. So yeah, SCG was hosting their RC in Portland in January last weekend, or not this last weekend, but the weekend before that. And they had 2 pre-modern 1Ks as side events, which was kind of cool to see. They didn't really do 1Ks for Legacy or Modern or anything like that, but they chose pre-modern. Um, and unfortunately, since it was an SCG sanctioned event, gold borders weren't allowed. I personally had to swap out the ones that I have for real survival of the fittest from Marshall, But yeah, it was 1K. It was enough people for 6 rounds both times, with a cut to top eight. And then it's just a payout among top eight. That's pretty normal for 1K, 350, 200, 150 to third and fourth, 50 to fifth or eighth. So I'll hand over the mic to Chris since Chris took it down on Friday.
Oh, hang on a
So
second.
I don't.
So you're saying that you had to play with 4 ugly black border survivals in a deck?
Yeah, they were signed, so that's cool.
Okay.
Does everybody know that Kern's got a white bordered elves deck? Does everybody on the podcast know
I
that?
would hope by now that they know that. We haven't really said it a lot, I guess, but
What?
I do have a fully white bordered elves deck that you can catch on the heavy play channel at any point, or not at any point, but like I have like quite a few matches on that channel
You've been
somewhere.
on there
So
a couple of times,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
a few.
I'm sure a lot of people know that you have a white border deck. I'm sure if you go on Twitter.
Oh, I don't exist on that website
No, I'm saying, but
anymore.
I'm sure if you go on Twitter, because I know people outside of the US are still there. I'm sure there's like Japanese players that play Premodern that they know about a person
Oh yeah,
in the
somebody
US West
like is
Coast.
sharing the picture. It's
Yes.
going around somewhere on the internet, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so I had to use black border survivals. It was big sad. So
It's a hard life, dude.
But yeah,
it
but
is
so
hard
Chris,
life.
you did pretty well on that event, right? The one on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, I was able to take it down. Pretty awesome day. It started off horrible. I'm gonna I'm not gonna try to talk too much smack here, but there were definitely some things that could have been done better on SCG's part. Like I ended up getting to the hull early, and I ended up like clustering around this one area where it looked like pre-modern players were going to be. And in Melee, it tells you where your table is. And
Mm-hmm.
they had these little signposts that looked like street signs, and it would show like, this is, 500 row, this is 400 row, this is 300 row. And it's like, two big halls that are like together. It's like kind of makes like an L kind of. And I'm like looking all over for where my opponent is. And it's like, it's like the place is big and they're just not there. And I'm like seeing that the table numbers don't match up. And I'm like, okay, like, and I had already been looking over in the other part of the hall, but I'm not looking at the table numbers. I'm just kind of looking from afar and I'm seeing like 800 row, 700 row. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not over there. So I make my way over to 600. I can't find them, and then I like leave, and then I'm like trying to see if there's like another area that I'm supposed to go to. So I make my way back in, and I'm like, what are the chances that it's next to 700 row? And so I go over, and sure enough, there is like a line, there's like an aisle where there's like several 600 numbered seats, but there's no sign. So I finally like make my way over there, and I sit down and I say hi to my opponent, and he's like, I'm gonna see if we can get like a time extension. And I was like, yeah, sorry about that. And he calls the judge over, and the judge is just like, okay, well, you were late, so you're getting a game loss. And
Oh
I was
wow.
like, by how long was I late? And he's like, well, it started at like 10:05. And I'm like, time is it now? And he's like 10:07. I'm like, bro, like 2 minutes. Like, I'm like, I couldn't find my seat. It was like I was like over on the other side with the 600s. And like I could just tell that this dude was like not going to be reasonable. And I'm like, I'm annoyed. I'm like super annoyed. And this is like every recurring bad dream, right? Of like, you're like trying to make your way to an event and, like some calamity of errors happens where you can't get to your like table and you're like late and you're trying to fill out a deck list, whatever it is, right? And so, I'm annoyed and I'm just like the whole day's done already, right? I was like, all right, I'm shaking it off. I'm trying to shake it off. I'm like, I just have to win 2 in a row. And my opponent was playing like the devastating dreams threshold deck. Like it's called like Mr. T, but for whatever reason. But
Is that what it's
yeah,
called?
it's called Mr. T. I think the T in this case is supposed to stand for threshold. I don't know why it's called Mr. T, but
Okay.
I know that it's been called by that name.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
mean
it's
to cut you
basically,
off. It's because like I just recorded a video of this thing and put it on my channel. I think it was like on, I don't know, sometime last week. And
Yeah, it was like one of your very recent uploads.
yeah, I did really. It was a 5-0 actually. It was a 5-0 league. That's what I remember. And I just found that deck like no kind of random, and
oh yeah, it's been around for a while. Yeah.
I didn't know they had a name. Like I thought it was just like green red threshold or Terra Dreams, whatever people call it. Okay, so
Yeah.
Mr. T. All right.
Yeah, there might have been. I don't know what his deck list looked like. I haven't looked at it afterwards. Like
Uh-huh.
maybe there's some like weird nuance that disqualifies it from being that particular version that's called Mr. T. But yeah, anyway, I just like I win two in a row.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what he's on, right? So like we don't know. So I just get to be on the play and he like blows everything up, but I like rebuild really quickly. And yeah, and then I just kind of overwhelm him and it's like done. And then so game two, I'm like, okay, this is actually great because like he doesn't know what sideboard cards I have. So I bring in Sacred Ground, which
Oh yeah.
was
Mhm.
like incredible. And yeah, like I just took it down. Like I just won two in a row. And I was like, all right, good start. And yeah, I don't know if you want me to go down to like each round,
Oh,
but like that
if
was
you
like
know the
how the
matchups, I
event
guess. Let
started.
me see if they had it. If you remember the matchups, don't.
The matchups, any cool like moments in those matches you want to talk about, all that would be good.
Yeah, I can like do these. I'll spend more time on the more interesting ones. Round two, I ended up playing against a dude named Jared, who I ended up chatting with like both events and like literally one of the just like nicest dudes I've met from like a pre-modern event in a while. But he was on Oath Spec, which is traditionally like a pretty tough matchup.
Mhm.
You can win, but like if like both decks are just trying to do their thing, but like man, it is like it's rough. Like Quiet Spec is so good in that deck, and it's like a mana denial deck, and it's a Cataclysm deck, and they get to play things like Meddling Mage and Aura of Silence and Ray of Revelation. It's like it's brutal. And there was a point where we got to game three where he cataclysmed when he all he had in play were lands, and I had like a huge board, and I ended up taking the greedy play of keeping I crypted him in response. I kept his Sabo's Web in play because I didn't want to get beat down by like a treetop village. I kept my Sabo's Web in play, and I kept Forest and Enchantress's presence. And I knew that I had a land coming. I had a land in hand and an Enchantress in hand. And so I cracked a Sterling Grove to put Exploration on top because I was like, all right, he's going to Cataclysm. Next turn, I'll play an Enchantress. Next turn after that, I'll play an Exploration and I'll just like snowball and recover really quick, which is usually how you can like beat Cataclysm decks.
Mhm.
And he ended up following it up with the Sylvan Library. And he ended up just going like pay eight. I think he paid like eight again, or like four or something like that. And I bricked off of my Exploration and I had let an Aura of Silence go, and I ended up losing because that Sylvan just carried him. And then he ended up having like like a huge Terravore, which I had to source to Plowshares, which gave him more life to dig even deeper with the
From the same
Sylvan.
library.
Right. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, everything has like completely gone wrong. I went from like, I can't lose this game to like, I have thrown this game away. And it was because I didn't keep Aura of Silence. What I was supposed to do is I was actually supposed to keep Aura of Silence because
Mhm.
the only way I lose is like by Sylvan or like some broken Mox Diamond stuff. So that was a heartbreaker, but we had a good conversation afterwards, and I was comforted by the fact that I like realized I could have made a different play. And so I was like,
Mhm.
all right, like I deserve to lose that one. Like at least I know for next time. Round three, I played against Blue Black Psychotog. It wasn't close. It's just like a really hard matchup for them, and so that's just how that match goes. Round four, I played against Wyatt on Survival Welder, which is like my first pre-modern deck,
Yeah.
and some of those games were actually like really close. He played really well, but I just ended up getting what I needed, at the right time, and I was kind of playing around the right things just because I was familiar with the deck. So got that one 2-0. Played against Chris Garcia on the Blue White Standstill, and we had been chatting earlier in the day. We know each other. I've kind of been his like signed card dealer in the past. I've sold him a bunch of stuff, and He was like, I don't want to play against you. And I was just like, yeah. I'm like, it's like a pretty bad matchup for you without Tide.
I was about to say,
And
yeah, pre-tide was not fun for Enchantress, but I think,
no.
yeah,
Yeah,
but not.
blue eye Tide is like was like the hardest control matchup to face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he played really well too. Like he prioritized like countering my engine pieces. Like that deck doesn't have a critical mass of counter spells that you could really do the counter all your win conditions plan like Dreadnought can. So it's definitely correct to just try to counter the engine pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that, and eventually I think I played like 3 or 4 Enchantress effects within the first like 5 turns. And I just like ran him out of counters, and like eventually one stuck, and then like that pulled me ahead. And
Mm-hmm.
we ended up with a situation where he got a humility in play after I already had opalescence in play. And that had come up next to me earlier in the day. Like a judge had come over. They had called a judge, right? And they showed the judge what was going on. And the judge audibly looked at the board and was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, it's easy. Like, nothing has any abilities. Which one came in first? And then they were like, oh, the opalescence came
Yeah,
in.
it's a timestamp thing, right?
It's a timestamp thing. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
either 1-1s or 4-4s, Um,
Oh no,
and
so actually, that's a good point for us. So to explain, if you want to explain how it works, because I think there's some people that always that conversation always comes up. So if your opalescence comes after humility is in play, then
yeah.
there are
Okay,
four
okay,
fours,
okay.
right?
Yeah. So Opalescence wants to make every other enchantment a creature with power and toughness equal to its casting cost. Humility says creatures lose all abilities. Okay, and are 1/1s, right? And so if the humility is in play first, there's a layers thing. There's a good like video on YouTube. I'm not going to get into the layers thing, but it does
Mm-hmm.
have to do with layers. So if like the humility is in play first, and then the opalescence comes into play, the opalescence will make the humility a 4/4 with no abilities. Um, and if the opalescence is in play first, and the humility comes in afterwards, the humility is a 1/1, okay, with no
No
abilities, but
abilities.
no abilities, but it's like it's already doing
The
it's
1/1.
already doing this stuff. This is like kind of like the like Dryad of the Elysian Grove or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the whole thing with like
Yeah.
that and like Blood Moon, right?
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing. So yeah. And then I think if you like, so if you play like Opalescence, then Humility, then Opalescence, then it gets really weird because like one Opalescence will be a 4/4, one will be a 1/1. So like it gets really weird, but luckily they didn't have to deal with that. It was pretty much just as simple as like which one came in last, because that's the one that the effect is gonna
Take place.
take place, exactly, take precedence. And then in that game he was playing against an Enchantress player, obviously, and then they just like swords to plowshares the humility and kind of like went about their day. So
Okay.
like it was a nightmare like temporarily. Yeah, it was like a nightmare temporarily. And then basically the same thing happened in our game. He got the humility down, and I was like, all right, I've got the swords. And he's just like, yep. So and then game 2, like, Xanad Swarm just took over the game, which is just what it does.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I'm 4-1, and I'm looking at the standings, and I'm like, oh, I get to draw. I can just like draw in. Like we don't need to like mess around with this.
Right.
And I just agree to draw with my opponent, and then after we agree, I'm like, by the way, what are you playing? And he's just like, I'm playing Survival Madness, and he's like, I think it's a bad matchup for me. I'm like, it's a bad matchup for you. I'm like, so like it was cool like to just like chat about the matchup. We talked about Stan, Cyberpunker, who's like the Madness guy in
Yeah.
SoCal. Yeah, he's like the infamous Madness dude. Put a lot of time into that deck, and we were chatting about the matchup a bit. And I was like, all right, cool. Like I get to chill out. I get to kind of like take a rest. I get to look at what everyone else is playing. And then we go into top 8, and then I had to unfortunately I get paired to another local guy, Andrew Lockhart, aka Heavy Play. He's responsible for capturing all of the awesome video in the Portland monthlies and some of the old school events out here.
And
And
I believe Andrew was our first guest on the podcast.
He was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great guy. Just puts like a lot of time into putting out good content and really spreading the gospel of Premodern. And I knew that he was. I had seen him playing earlier in the day, and I knew he was on Moneyball Black, which you can lose to that, right? You can lose to that deck. Like if they've got like Gloom and Dystopia and all the really good hateful black enchantments, like you could just straight up lose to that deck. But um, he uh, uh, he's a higher seed than me. I was like somewhere in like the top 8. He was like he was like I don't remember what place he was. Actually, I can find out what place he was. He was
Well, I can probably look it up.
yeah, let's see. I knew he was higher seed than me, so like let's do
Six.
round 6. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he
he
was
was like
actually in 3rd place. I was in 6th place. So he got to choose to go first. So this really mattered
okay.
because he goes like Swamp Ritual, um uh Therapy Me, Naming Miri's Guile, and he misses, but I have 2 Enchantresses, and I was like, "Do you have the Ravenous Rats?" He's like, "I do have the Ravenous Rats." And I was like, "Okay," so he plays the Ravenous Rats, so, like, I don't want him to, like, get 3 cards, right? He has to name Enchantress. So I'm like, "Alright, well, I'm gonna discard 1 Enchantress to the Rats," and then he flashes it back and takes the other one, and then I draw. It was like, "Oh my god, Thoughtseize Bug in real life." I drew an Enchantress, and I'm like, "This is incredible." So I play a land, he plays a factory and passes, and then I play a land, and then I play my Enchantress, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so lucky." And I'm like, the only way that I lose here, the only way that I lose this like Enchantress is if he has like the one of Diabolic Edict. And I'm like, let's see if you've got the Edict. He's like, I do have it. And I'm like, oh my god. So he's like nuked 3 of my Enchantresses in the first like couple of turns of the game, and I'm like, oh my god. But I draw Sterling Grove. And I'm like, this is actually like the best possible because he can't stop the top of my deck. So I play the Grove out, and I've got a mana to crack it. And yeah, I go get Enchantress's Presence. And from there, I kind of just like snowball out and like rebuild. And next thing I know, I've got a bunch of cards in hand, and the board is crazy. And he's like, yeah, we can just move on to game 2. And I'm like, all right, which is like pretty insane considering how good his start was on the play, right?
hmm
And then game 2 largely came down to uh me finding an elephant grass that just like held the fort down for many, many, many turns. Like he was like allocating 4 lands to like animate a factory and attack me and pay for the elephant grass while
Uh-huh.
like the shade and like all the other stuff was being like held back by the grass. And eventually I just kind of like snowballed, and he found the gloom way too late. By the time he found the gloom, I already had a big board in a sanctum, and I was like, yeah, I'll just pay 3 for the seal of cleansing and kill the gloom. Like it didn't, at that point it was like done. So that was that, I feel like I had some good draws there. Like hitting that grove in game 1 was like a really big deal because I don't want to be on the draw game 3 against him. So winning
hmm
game 1 was huge for sure. And then I think he
Yeah, I
got
was
unlucky, like not finding the gloom in time game 2.
yeah, I was looking at the side Angel sideboard. It was pretty good against Enchantress. Uh he had the dystopias, engineer plagues, bloom. I guess Powder Keg too, I guess comes into to
Yeah, it's
kill
like it's not bad. It hits Enchantress. I mean, you've got like, yeah, it's okay. I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Tormod script maybe you feel like you're worried about replenish, I guess.
yeah. I mean, you've got the wretches, but like you've got like you can have like extra. The thing that I think Kega is actually secretly the best against is getting rid of Sabo's web.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Also, I guess if you have opalescence, then they're creatures, right? Is that how
yeah,
that works?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It can make things awkward for sure. Yeah, like if you have a
And
Keg on 4.
again, like I think Money Ball Black is really trying to beat all the creature decks.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of cards that you can just side out that they have no text against you, right? So like Contagion, Smother, Snuff Out, Spinning Darkness, they're all cards they can just easily, yeah.
dead,
So
just dead cards. Yeah,
yeah,
just super
exactly.
dead cards. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that was so at that point I'm in top 4 and I'm feeling good. It was I had to play against like two locals at that point, which was like unfortunate. But then I get a rematch with Jared on O spec. And I'm like, all right, well, this is my chance for revenge. And I get to be on the play game one. And because I'm higher seed than he is. And because he was in seventh place going into the top eight. So I get to be on the play. And that game was like, I think it was like turn three Parallax Wave, turn four Opalescence win. And like that was it. Like I didn't even have any Enchantresses, I don't think, that game. So that was pretty rad. I was like, all right, like I needed to run hot, and that was like, it just lined up. I know Mike Packer right now is listening to this and saying, like, I told you, like, Opal Wave, like, do the 3-3 version. But I don't want to have a bunch of opalescences in my hand against the like uber mana denial deck. So game two, we end up having a similar board state where I've got a big board, and ends up playing he ends up playing a Cataclysm. And this time I learned from like previously in the day, and I keep the Aura of Silence so that he can't pull back in. And I just let everything else die. Sabo's Web is obviously like very good that game. That was like huge, but he ends up getting a couple of meddling mages. The first one he names Swords to Plowshares, and I'm holding Kurtar's Desire in my hand, and I'm like feeling so smug because that Kurtar's Desire replaced Swords to Plowshares number 3 in my main. I love Kurtar's Desire exactly like as a one of, and it's basically a pacifism for the most part. For
let me
one
let
white.
me because that one is kind of like an obscure one, I guess.
It's obscure, yeah.
So it's a 1 white enchantment. Enchanted creature can't attack, and if you have threshold, the enchanted creature can't block. So, yeah, it's a pacifism if you have threshold, I guess, for 1 mana.
Yeah. So like, there's pros and cons of that card. Like, there are creatures that card is terrible against, like any utility creature, like Grim Lavamancer, Meddling Mage, Hermit Druid, Greyborn Muse, stuff like that. Like those cards are gonna, like, Weathered Wayfarer is another huge one, right? Obviously you would rather have Swords to Plowshares against those cards, but the fact that Kurtar's Desire is removal that you can tutor up with Enlightened Tutor or Sterling Grove is really nice. It gets protected by Sterling Grove. It draws you cards off of your engine pieces. It juices up Sarah Sanctum. Like there's a lot. There was actually a point.
Yeah,
it's an enchantment. Yeah, it's exactly. Like there was literally a point. There was literally a point. It was like a pivotal turn in that game too, where he was like trying to figure out like what I could do next turn, and so he named Parallax Wave with his second Meddling Mage because he like counted enchantments on my side of the board, and he didn't count the Kurtar's Desire that was on his first Meddling Mage. So because he was like, oh, like you're not gonna have enough mana for something like this, I'm just gonna name Parallax Wave. I actually was able to like play Replenish the next turn and get like a bunch of stuff back, and like that was like a game winning play, right? So Desire was great, and I ended up getting that one 2-0. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm in the finals.
I just want to say, this person was playing 3 Cataclysms between main deck and sideboard. And if you ever play Enchantress, Cataclysm is the bane of Enchantress existence, in my opinion. So
yeah, it's easily one of the best cards in the whole format against us. Yeah.
I was also just going to interject for a moment that, Chris, not only did you claim vengeance for yourself, but you claimed vengeance for me, because Jared was the person who felled me in the quarters.
Oh, right. I remember that. Like, I literally had that conversation with him because I wasn't sure who was going to make it in. And when they announced his name, he was sitting next to me. I was like, buddy, you got in. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, congrats. And I was like, I don't know what the standings are right now because they hadn't posted them yet. And and I was like, I'm like, maybe you'll get lucky and you'll play against elves. I'm like, I don't really want to play against that. And I'm like, and I was like, I need you to play against elves so that I have a chance, because I feel like a little birdie told me that you had built your elves version to beat Enchantress, and I was like, oh god, like I don't want to deal with like multiple vigilantes and tranquil domains, and like screw that. I don't want to deal with this. I didn't pack Curse Totem in my sideboard, for this event. I don't want to play against this. So sure enough, I see that you're in second and Jared's in seventh, and I'm like, the stars are aligning, you know. At one point, I think I walked over and like a volcanic spray was on the stack, and I'm like, yes, good, you know.
Yes.
I was like, all right, it has been ordained, you know, preordained.
And they had 3 of them too, so I was like, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
pretty tough for
yeah,
Elf.
Yeah,
it's a hard
that
matchup
was
for
a
both of
brutal
us, I think.
match. I actually clawed my way out of game 2. I thought I was going to lose, and I did some very sketchy blocks to get my way out and actually win out of game 2. But game 3, he slammed double oath on like turn 4 or 5. And I was just like, I don't visualize this.
Yeah, that's and like the worst part is like oath in that deck not only finds him a gigantic Terravore that's just going to outclass anything you're doing, it also digs him into Ray of Revelation for your survival or spray to wipe your board, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good deck. I think Oath Spec straight up is easily one of the best decks in the entire format at this point. Like the only thing really keeping it back, I think, in the past was Tide Control, which was just it's like a horrible matchup for Oath Spec. And now that that's gone, it's like, you know, this is like
it's a tasty deck.
Does this deck
really
do
good.
well? Does this deck do well versus Sly? Feels like Sly would be okay against this deck.
I mean, Price of Progress is obviously very good against it, but you can still like. Here's the thing: like this deck
you don't have to
doesn't
play to the board, right? If you're playing Sly, you can just like Cataclysm Armageddon doesn't really have to do anything to you. Like only if you choose to make it do it to you.
Yeah, like I think the reason that like Oath Ponzo was really good against Sly was because it had Oath and stuff like Sphere and a good mana denial plan.
Right.
And you know, I don't know what the basic count is between the two lists. I think they were both like probably on four basics each, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But not having Sphere of Resistance definitely. That's like the trade-off, right? It's like I would much rather have Sphere of Resistance against Slide than, you know, Quiet Speculation. Like Volcanic Spray is cool, but like Deep Analysis isn't very good. You know what I mean? Like you're not bolting yourself to draw 2. Like you might die, you know?
Also, 3 copies of Zurin Orb. Look at those orbs.
Oh yeah, you need those. Yeah, you need those.
I think like my baseline for like any deck that's too convoluted and complicated is Sly, because Sly is it's kind of like the fun police to me, like for those type of decks.
The equalizer, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, this Scroll Wreck deck with the Ultra Driz looks really cool. Yeah, but Ball Lightning doesn't care about that. Like, you're just gonna get range. So like every time I see a deck like this, I'm like, all right, it looks really good. But I mean, it's okay if you have like 1 or 2 matchups that are bad. But I'm just saying, I think the Tide and a deck like No Sly can probably just don't take advantage of a deck like this. But any deck that's trying to play to the board, like Enchantress or Elves, for instance, then I think this deck just eats them up, right? Because Cataclysms and basically all the cards that we just mentioned now, they're very good against decks. They're trying to play cards to the board, right? I think
massive mana denial is always good against Enchantress. And like looking at Jared's deck, he's actually got 2 Armageddons and 2 Cataclysms in the main, and then another Cataclysm in the side. Like and like 2 more Volcanic Sprays in the side. Like like it's
it was nightmarish.
And an Aura of Silence in the main. Like it's like brutal. It's like super brutal.
There's an Aura of Silence too.
Yeah. So this is
a way to find it, except for I guess digging with Summon Library, but I guess if you find it, it's very good though. So
yeah, it's just like a standalone good card. Yeah, like Seal of Cleansing is still a good card in the format. There's and it's like it's a Seal of Cleansing that matches your main plan of just mana denying people into the Stone Age. You know.
Yeah. Cool. So then you go to the finals and you got paired against Stephanot, right?
Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty hyped actually at that point because Stiflenut's usually a really good matchup, but it's complicated. I don't know exactly like whether he's just on. I'm not sure at this point if he's got the Psychotogs in the main, but I know that he was on Blue Black Stiflenut because I had watched him playing earlier in the event. And I was like, all right, like maybe he's got like he's probably got Duresses in the main, like Duress into Dreadnought is like a pretty reasonable plan. But overall, like even if I lose game 1, my game 2 should be like really good. And like Xanath Swarm is just gonna like take like take over entire games, and there's no reason for him to keep Smothers in. Like, it's just not a good idea, like,
Mm-hmm.
to try to do that. And I'm like pretty sure he's not going to be on Essence Flare. So I'm like, all right, like, he's going to be on the play, and he's got black for discard, so that could be a problem. So maybe I'm not going to like win game one, but I feel pretty good that I could like lose game one and win both sideboard games, which I'm like, okay, that's like the plan, right? Like, the game that matters is going to be game three, and he's going to be on the play, and it's going to be a matter of like whether I can just like get a bees down and protect it and stop him from killing me. So
Mm-hmm.
so what ends up happening is game one, he jams, and I end up having the removal for it, and he like digs for the removal and he can't find it. Or sorry, he digs for like a counter, and he can't stop it. So he's like put all of these resources into protecting the dreadnought, and he's like gushed. So he's like way behind on lands now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like have a bunch of mana in play, and I'm able to get I basically like get the Enchantress down, and I just start like pulling way ahead. And at that point, like, the game's like basically over. Like, I get to a point where I know I can just like play all my stuff in one turn, because now that he has gone for the jam plan, the counter all your win conditions plan is way harder to achieve. And I'm like, I still want to play around him potentially having the counter all your win conditions plan. I don't want to just like throw this game away when I'm like already winning. So
Mm-hmm.
I just like snowball, and he just concedes. And I'm like, oh my God, like, all right, like, maybe this is going to be a clean 2-0. But game two, I just can't find white mana, and I die with like 4 removal spells in my hand. It was insane. Like,
Wow.
I think I had Kurtar's Desire, Swords to Plowshares, and 2 seals, and I had like several enchantresses in play, and I just like could only draw green mana, and I just like died to a jam plan, and I was like, okay, like,
Let's try to fix it. Let's try to turn this around in game 3. Yeah.
So game 3, I get to be on the play, and I believe that game I had, I think I have bees that game, but I have like only 2 lands. I have like a brushland and a sanctum, and I have like 3 wild growths. So I'm like, I end up getting like, I've got like, there's a point where I've got like 2 wild growths on a brushland, 1 wild growth on a sanctum. I've got an Enchantress's Presence. I think I've got the bees. Maybe bees was second game, actually. Yeah, I don't have bees game 3. I have Enchantress's Presence and Guile. I have like Miri's Guile. And he's like not trying to like jam, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's like off of the dreadnought plan, and he's just like on Psychotogs now. And on his turn, he plays a land. He's got like 2 islands and a swamp, and he just goes like hibernation. And I'm like, all right, that's fair. So like,
just like main phase hibernation.
he main phases hibernation because he doesn't want me to he doesn't want to give me another turn where I can be playing a bunch of enchantments and drawing cards.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could like you could potentially do it on end step, but by that point I might have already gotten a bunch of white permanents in play, and then the hibernation isn't as effective because I did have the sanctum. And like, keep in mind, right? Like, my sanctum is juiced up. There's like 5 enchantments in play. I've got like 3 wild growths. I've only got 2 lands, but I've got like an insane amount of mana. So he just like hibernations me, and I don't draw another land. So on my next turn, I tap my brush land, and I cast Wild Growth on my Sanctum, and he dazes it. I'm like, oh my God,
Wow.
nightmare, right? And because like I don't have any other mana, right? And so I'm like, oh no, like, this is like not like this. And he ends up playing a Psychotog, and he misses a land. He misses a land drop. So he plays a Psychotog, and on my next turn, I had to go to discard, by the way. And on my next turn, I end up basically rebuilding, getting another Enchantress in play, and I had I think I had the Kurtar's Desire. I can bring up this. I don't know if I can. I can message you this like picture. This picture. I took a picture of the game state at the very end, which was like absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I end up getting like a Kurtar's Desire on the Psychotog so that I don't die. And this is like it actually like matters because I needed the mana off of the Sanctum so that I couldn't die, right? Like I needed to be able to play multiple spells. And so he just like lets it happen. And I'm like, oh no. He probably has another Psychotog then because he was just like he reads it and he's like, okay. And I'm like, there's no way this dude doesn't have it like another counter in his hand. And he's tapped out, but like he probably has foil. He might have something else, you know? And so the desire resolves and on his next turn, he plays another Psychotog. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm counting the cards in his hand, by the way, and I'm counting his graveyard, and I'm doing math, and I'm like, okay, he can like, if he has like no card draw, then he can kill me. He can deal exactly 15, and I was at like 16 life. But I needed to take pain off of the
Brushland.
brushland, you know, to do something. And I'm like, well, I should probably just try to go for it. And he ends up the next turn he has the Psychotog, he passes back to me, and then I basically play like a solitary confinement around days, and I'm just like, this is it. Like I have to hope that he just like doesn't kill me. And he gushes and he doesn't find the counter, and he says like he's like, okay, the solitary confinement resolves. And at that point I'm feeling pretty good. Like I think I've got like a wave in my hand, but like my hand's only got like a few cards in it, and I don't have a second Enchantress effect out, so I'm like, I could brick and just die. Like if he counters like a bunch of stuff, like I could just like not be able to sustain the
solitary confinement.
The solitary confinement. Like if he counters like the wave that I'm going to play next turn, and I don't draw into like another Enchantress effect, like I have to let the confinement die, and then I could just be dead. But he draws, and he's like, yeah, I can't beat solitary confinement. Good games, and he just concedes to me. So it was like pretty wild. I think there was like at least a chance that I could have lost. Because I only have the one Enchantress effect, but I'm not about to talk him out of like conceding to me. So I shake his hand, and
Yeah.
I mean, he was a really cool guy. By the way, really nice guy. I'm sending Romario. I'm sending you the.
Yeah, that's why I thought I got your message. That's why I looked to the side. I'm sorry about that. If anybody was watching and wonder why I was looking, is because you sent me the message. That's right.
Yeah, really, really nice guy. So like that's the picture of the board state at the end. So you can see the Kurtar's Desire, and I had like a couple of Guiles, and they had the Enchantress's Presence and a confinement. So my hand is like two lands, a grove, and a wave. So but like you can see his hand is like Portent. I think that's an annul, a duress, an island, an impulse, and a null. I don't know what the card is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I don't know what the card is next to Portent. It's
Vision Charm.
Vision Charm. There you go. So he's got Portent, Vision Charm, Duress, Island, Impulse, Annul, Counterspell, Island, Dreadnought. So like, you know, I mean, on my turn, I'm probably getting rid of one of my lands, and I'm just gonna try to like play Grove into Wave, and hopefully I can draw into another like another Enchantress. But like I could have easily lost this.
Chris, hold on a second. Are you like a triple sleeve person?
Yeah.
Son of a gun. All right.
I am a triple sleeve person.
I freaking hate you. I'm just saying.
I'm
just kidding. I hate sleeving decks. I can only imagine like sleeving the deck 3 times.
My whole collection is actually, I've got like the KMC Perfect Heart Inners, and then I've got Dragon Shield Mats as like the middle. And then my entire collection is uniform, and it's gorgeous. And whenever I sleeve up a new deck, I just get new outer sleeves. So
No,
that's how I
I
do it.
mean it looks like those are beta, right? I guess the wild growth.
The wild gross, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean I told like this playmat's also sweet too.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
My
it
spell
says
ground.
yeah, Spellground, okay. No, I tell people like the only thing I like about Magic Online compared to paper Magic is that I don't have to sleeve up my decks. Uh
Oh yeah, the best part of Magic Online is you don't have to shuffle.
the shuffling part actually doesn't bother me as much. It's sleeving up decks is like the bane of my existence. Like I told the current like if I ever hit the lottery, that's gonna be the sign that I want a lot of money. I'm gonna have somebody just sleeve up decks for me.
You're just
That's
gonna
that.
have like an assistant, yeah.
Yes, because I'm my squire. Like no, he's gonna follow me like with his sleeves and yeah. Oh, and he also
With
posts
a
a
bag
picture of
with
it.
like a with a duffel bag of dragon shields behind him,
Yes,
yeah.
every after round, there's like I'll sleeve up for me and I'll pay them
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
eventually.
I'm
Uh,
noticing some speckles of dirt, Carruthers. You need a new
clean them up.
sleeves for these.
Yeah, that's gonna be the sign that I came into a lot of money. Yeah, I also saw the nice the Italian city of brasses. That's really nice.
Eventually, I'm going to upgrade him to Arabian Nights because I am a dirty, filthy, degenerate old school player who loves spending way too much money on old cardboard. But
Those are
for
really
now,
cool. I
they're
almost
so
bought
sick. Yeah,
no, I almost
yeah,
bought them, but the thing is for me, if I was an old school player, I would probably buy them too. But the thing to
yeah.
me, when I started playing Magic, fourth edition City of Brass, that's what a City of Brass looks like to me. So it's not even a matter too much about money. I mean, it is a little bit about money too, but I could have bought four like a while ago.
Oh, like
But I
the
like them to
Chronicles
look like
one,
that. Yeah, yeah, I like those.
yeah,
Yeah,
the Chronicles one.
yeah.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
fourth
yeah,
edition was legal, like in standard, that so to me
yeah,
that Chronicle one, that's City of Brass looks like to me.
yeah.
So it's not even like a matter of like no trying to make my deck look nicer. It's just because to me that's what a City of Brass look. Same thing I play with Ice Age, Brainstorms and Counterspell because it was the first time I saw Counterspell. That's what it looked like to me. It was like the Counterspell. So I don't I don't care if the other ones look better. I just like in my mind as a kid, that's what Counterspell and Brainstorm look like. So
For sure, yeah.
yeah,
The nostalgia is strong for sure, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It ended up being a great day. I was super stoked. I definitely feel like I had to work for it. Like being able to overcome O Spec 2.0 was probably like the hardest thing I had to do the entire day. Um, so it felt good. It felt good knowing that I was able to extract max value from Star City games after I got that bad judge call game one, round one. So
Um,
that felt great.
so as a
Oh,
like I said,
yeah,
someone that
yeah.
likes it's a big fan of Enchantress too. I just had a couple of questions. One, is Enlightening Tutor is it good or is it just something that you like to play? Because I, as much as I like Enlightening Tutor, I think it's just being like a slow tutor is just not my cup of tea. But I noticed that you.
It's like it's got a permanent spot in the deck for me. I have like an enormous amount of personal data that I collect and keep
Mm,
track of all my matchups, and I use that to basically influence decisions and see if those decisions are backed by the data.
mhm,
Obviously, we can't have perfect data because you need a lot, but I'm at like almost 3,000 games
mhm.
across. I think it's almost like 1,300 matches. So I have a lot of data, and I'm like, oh, this is probably good enough, And the versions that have Enlightened Tutor typically perform better.
Better.
They have what better win rates. For me, I hate the feeling of knowing that my deck has an answer in it, and I'm just like praying that the top of my deck is nice enough to
Mm,
give me what I need when I need it. I hate that. I hate that feeling. And so I like having agency and going down a card, obviously, yes, it's card disadvantage, but like no deck in the format is drawing more cards than Enchantress. So like it's like super mitigated, like it doesn't matter. Like I can't tell you how many times I've won a game because while I was like drawing a bunch of cards, and I'm like resolving my Enchantress triggers one at a time because maybe I've got like like a wave in play or
or
something.
s-
And
or Sterling
and
Grove, I guess that you want to crack in between things.
Totally, yeah. So it's just like you draw them like one at a time, and you're just like, all right, first drop, nope, second drop, nope, all right, well, I've got a third drop, but I just drew this Enlightened Tutor, so I'm just going to cast this Enlightened Tutor before the third trigger resolves, and I'm going to go get my Opalescence, and now I've won the game, rather than just drawing a random card, right?
Right.
So the biggest thing for me is having that agency, and Enlightened Tutor is awesome for sideboard cards out of the at post board, like turn one Enlightened Tutor, so that you can have turn two Sabo's Web or Null Rod or Sacred Ground or Tormod's Crypt. Like those are things that can just like win the game by themselves, and you just have the ability to do that. Like to me, you have it like there are some matchups where you can't really like feasibly win without some type of like hate card like that, and Enlightened Tutor will help you find it. So it's got a permanent spot in the main for me, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that you also had the one Warship and the one Elephant Grass. I guess it makes sense when you have more tutors, right? Because Elephant Grass and Warship are like two cards that can be like very, very good or have no text sometimes.
Yeah, I think like Worship was a meta call because I thought there were going to be a bunch of Sly players at the event. I didn't know what the meta was going to be. I don't know if I saw any Sly players on Friday, but Worship is better than Solitary Confinement because it rewrites how damage is applied. So Worship will get around a card like Flaring Pain, whereas Sphere of Law and Solitary Confinement will like lose to Flaring Pain. So that was like one of the reasons why I tried it. In hindsight, it should just be another Solitary Confinement. Like
okay. So if you would play this again, you would run two Solitary Confinements instead of the first Warship.
Yeah, I think so. Just because like it doesn't really do anything against Devourer, which can be tough because they're super fast. I got bodied by the Snap Cradle Pop deck on Sunday, and they can kill you either by stroking you out for your whole deck or by just attacking you with like a bunch of like beefy squirrels from Deranged Hermit.
Oh, right.
And Worship only stops one of those plans. So I think people are really trying to like push like super fast decks now that Tide is gone. I mean, fast decks were good against Tide, but like if Tide could stop you from the initial onslaught, you just like don't have like a mid or late game. And so I think like people are trying out more aggressive, like hyper aggressive decks, especially fast combo decks. And Solitary Confinement is just way better against that than Worship is. So I don't think I'm going to be on Worship moving forward. I still like the one of Grass because it's super good against all the black decks. Like people love playing black decks. I mean, Moneyball Black is a sick deck, dude.
No,
like,
no. Every time I play the leagues, like I feel like I get paired into like a deck that's playing like Nintukush.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah, exactly. Like it feels like every time I'm on Magic Online, Mono Black is like 2 of my 5 matchups. It is so weirdly popular online.
Or Hypnotic Spectre out of Black and White Control or something like So it's not.
Dead Guy Ale. Yeah.
And then just so we don't go too long on the Enchantress subject, but the other one it's like Ivory Mask is like one of those cards. Like I think I bought it because I love the card from like again nostalgia reasons, etc. For people that haven't played Magic, in this times like this is what we had before Leyline Ascendity. We actually had to hard cast our ley lines. Ivory Mask is this still good or like was just something you wanted to try and?
It's good.
Okay.
So if you can power it out early, Devourer can't beat you. And it gets protected by Sterling Grove. So if you have like an Ivory Mask and a Sterling Grove, they need 2 bounce spells to be able to kill you. And if you have a Sterling Grove out and they like Rushing River or Hoodwink it, you could just sack it and go get a second Sterling Grove, right? So they have to have like 2 bounce spells back to back and try to kill you, which can be really tough. The problem though is that it costs 4, and if you're on the draw, they might just like power out like a turn 2 or turn 3 win before you can cast it. I've considered True Believer. I've actually played True Believer, believe it or not. And True Believer is actually really good against Moneyball Black because they are going to take out their smothers against you. and they're going to go, if they have edicts in the sideboard, they're going to go up on edicts, and True Believer stops the edict, so it actually protects Enchantress. It also stops all the discard, and it also stops Ravenous Rats. Ravenous Rats, just, it's not like all opponents discard, it's like target opponent.
Oh, is it?
So
Oh.
yeah. So it's actually pretty sick. It also stops Haunting Echoes, which can be a really brutal card against you.
Yeah.
And it also stops Jester's Cap, which Ancient Tomb players are playing a lot more of now. So
Right.
I think True Believer is another
Mask.
card that you could play.
Okay.
Well, either one, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's pros and cons of each one. Like True Believer comes down earlier, but it doesn't like vibe with the rest of the deck. So you can't
And
find
Ivory Mask
it.
you just tutor out, right? So it's
You can just tutor it, exactly. Yeah.
And
so
as
I
far
think
as
both are fine.
As far as the Tinker deck you're mentioning, like, I mean, you have a combination of cards that can do like No Rod can do the same thing too. So it's like, I think it's almost like fine to have like a spread of different things. I think that's usually how you beat a combo deck, anyways. Like you can't just like put all your eggs in the same basket, like because combo decks will eventually find a way to beat you. So like, no, I think if you have the Ivory Mask and a No Rod is like much better than having like two cards that do the same thing.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought about it too.
Okay.
I played in the December Portland Monthly, and I get to the finals and I'm playing against Justin Hadley on Blue Red Tinker, and game the final game was just determined by me having Enlightened Tutor for I think I had Enlightened Tutor for Null Rod. I had like Web and Null Rod, I think, in the same game. But basically the Null Rod like completely won the entire game.
Right.
And I was able to win the event because of that. And it was off of I believe it was off of Enlightened Tutor. You'll see it on Andrew's
Heavy Plays.
channel. Okay. Yeah, on Heavy Play. When he gets to it, you'll see it. But spoilers, sorry, but yeah.
Well, that's crazy for a card that does nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Curran, and you, I know, Curran, was it this event that your first 3 rounds were like super exciting? Or am I getting them confused?
So, what do you mean back and forth, or do you mean exciting in the sense that I got handed sweet matchups?
I guess sweet matchups, I guess.
Cause yeah, dude, kind of circling back to the Spike video from earlier, like, good matchups seem to be present in a good tournament run, right? And, rounds 1 and 2, I got Stasis, both of them. So it was just like, here's Quirion Ranger, here's Wirewood Symbiote, here are my 3 main deck Vigilantes, also the 4 sideboard Naturalizes, we're cooking, right? Like, we're fine. And then round 3, I got paired into Dreadnought, and I do have just a quick funny story from that match in game 1. He has developed Dreadnought in the middle of the game, and he attacks me down to 8. And I've been racing with him this entire time, right? And so I'm like, okay, I'll set up a block on the next attack to have 5 toughness set up, including an anger. So that I go to 1 and then I can attack back for lethal, especially if I top deck a creature, because it'll have haste. And I set up my blocks after he attacks, and he taps a blue mana, and I'm like, what did I not play around, right?
Vision Charm?
I don't think Vision Charm phases out creatures.
Oh, no, it's only artifacts. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's just artifacts, yeah.
So, and he casts a Chain of Vapor, targeting one of my creatures.
Oh,
and I'm like, and for a second I'm like, oh no, I'm fucked. And then I'm like, wait a minute, Chain of Vapor has more text. And I like sack off a forest, and I'm like, yep, sack a forest, target your Dreadnought, and he's just like, oh, I guess I was dead anyway.
You're thinking he's gonna like counter the copied chain, and then you're just dead, right? Like,
yeah, something, I don't know, like, what's he got, and I just, he was just like, oh, I forgot that Chain of Vapor is not on something.
That happens.
Okay, yeah, it happens, so. And then round 4, I sit down against Andrew, and I'm scared because I know he's on Moneyball.
Yeah.
And he offers me the draw immediately. He just says, do you want to draw? Because every time we've played, I've beaten him either 2-0 or 2-1. And he didn't want to deal with it. But I was sitting there like, well, this dude probably has Engineered Plague in Dystopia at the very least, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take this draw.
Yeah. You'll just take that, yeah.
We
I'm
drew.
looking at Melee, and you went 2-0 in all of the matches that you played on Friday in the Swiss.
Yeah, because round 5 I got paired into mono white aggro, piloted by the guy who lent me Survival of the Fittest.
Yeah.
Oh, Marshall, yeah.
Is this one here?
Marshall. Yeah. And it's a really good matchup. It just kind of like Stasis. It's just like, let's go, dude. You know?
How did they beat you? I don't think they can beat elves
They
ever, right?
did. He came very close. If he had like one more turn, he could have actually outdamaged me in one game.
Oh.
But I was quick enough to still seal that one up. But like, it was just bad. And then he mulliganed to like either 5 or 4 in game 2. It was like not good.
Yeah.
Do people not? I don't think this is controversial at all if I say this, but like, do people not play Crusaders in this deck because it's a Star City event, or because it's just
Yeah,
not good?
Marshall actually asked to try to see about playing Crusade in this event, and the answer was can't play Crusade.
Oh, Star City said that.
So yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, so the way that we were doing it online was allowing people to play Honor of the Pure, because it's like the closest
Right.
relevant card on
Yeah.
Magic Online. But yeah, so like niche case for not being able to play the best version of White Weenie in a Star City Games event. But
Yeah. I was
yeah,
actually just wondering because I know, for instance, like Bad Moon exists, but like people don't really play it too. So I was like, maybe the card's just not good enough.
that mood gets played.
All right, sure, we can say that.
It gets played in like the mono black like like the Carnophage Sacramency decks.
Sacramency, whatever.
Yeah. It gets
Okay.
played in those.
All
Yeah.
right, fair enough. Okay, so you played
But
against
yeah,
White Weenie,
the
and then
undefeated, and then ID'd in round 6. And then the undefeated run into the classic lose the quarterfinals, right? Like it's a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
It's
then you play
fine.
against is it Jared?
Jared, yeah.
Okay.
And game 1, he beat me very convincingly. Game 2, I weaseled my way out. I traded like all of my creatures into his last Call of the Herd token, into his last Treetop Village just to stay alive. And then like very slowly rebuilt my way out and won that game. But then game 3, it was just, it was like by the end of game 2, I had 2 naturalizes that had been sitting there for like half the game, and I had wished that I had them in game 3 because I desperately needed them on turn 4 or 5 or whatever it was that I got double oathed. And I also foolishly held a crypt in my hand way too long. I should have put it into play and then in like upkeep let him flip everything, and then while still in upkeep, grab his graveyard because
Right.
a lot of sorceries.
Yeah.
And I also just kind of failed to do that. The writing was on the wall for me because an Armageddon, or not an Armageddon, had gone off. I had to start on a wooded foothills, so the crypts weren't just like automatic kill the terrors. They would have been
right.
Oh, because you
1/1s
had
after
lands in
the
your
fact.
graveyard too.
And then instead of flashing anything back on that next turn, he actually cast an Armageddon, so it was even worse. And I just like kind of crypted the Terrors down to I think 5/5s at that point, and it was just like, yeah, this is still bad. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Did the
anyway,
silly
it
resolves
was a
ever
tough
come up?
match. Resolves not on Friday. They did come up on Sunday though, multiple times.
I think the card's sweet. Just I don't know. I think silly resolve is cool.
The art is
I'm
awesome.
done. I am done playing them though at this time currently. Actually, to the monthly that we just played, I put Tangle Wire back in the deck per a couple of conversations with Chris actually. Funny enough, I took the advice to heart, and I was really glad to have Tangle Wire with me on the monthly because I also did a undefeated ID into top 8 on that one. So
did you win the quarterfinal at the time?
I lost the quarterfinals again this time to Slot.
Okay. All right, Curran, we're seeing a pattern here.
Yeah, I got the Swiss, no problem. Top 8 is a problem.
It's a whole different event, right? Yeah. All right. Well, before we move on to the, I guess we can touch on the Sunday event. Like, no, congrats again to Chris for winning the event on Friday. That was
thanks,
very
man.
well done.
It was a good day. It was a good day for the Enchantress team.
Yeah. There was another Enchantress player also like in the top 8, right? and
Yeah, and Andrew.
Shaw.
No, Andre. Yeah, I can't read that. I think it's
Andrew.
Andre. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Andrew Shaw. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we were chatting a little bit about. We had a conversation about Croson Reclamation, and he's like, "What do you think about Croson Reclamation versus Gaia's Blessing?" And
Mm.
I'm on Team Croson Reclamation for sure.
Okay. Then we had the event on Sunday at the same venue, of course. I believe you guys didn't run so hot, I guess, on Sunday. Uh, man, I need Karim back here. I know he's one of our buddies that also plays Legacy. He got second place with an angry goal, or I don't know. I'm not gonna call it angry goal, angry hermit. I like to call it angry hermit. Uh,
Yeah,
and,
all of them are fine.
and Lynn still ended up taking down the whole event.
Yeah.
Was it the same? See, 41 players on Sunday. I mean Friday, 36 on Sunday. Okay.
36 on Sunday. Yeah, I watched the finals. It wasn't very long. That finals was like that game one was brutal because there was a point where there were like 3 Phyrexian furnaces on the board.
Oh man. Yeah. Hold on. How many? This person was playing. Oh, they had 3 of them. Okay, in the deck. All right. Well,
Yeah, they
that
found
that
all of
worked out, I
them.
guess. Uh,
Yeah,
or Arcane Laboratory. That's a sweet one too.
it's a sick one. Yeah, they played really well. I there was a point where I went behind them so I could like watch their hand and what cards they drew and their decisions, and they showed a lot of patience and control over like not just throwing out a standstill unnecessarily to try to greedily get more cards. Like they were like, I've got, like they had 4 mana and they were like holding mana up so they could do counterspell and mana leak so that they just couldn't possibly lose,
Right.
because the Angry Ghoul player only had like a couple of cards in hand and it was like,
Man, that was brutal finals.
oh yeah, it was like, it just did not feel
Correct. Hold on.
close.
What was her name again?
Sean,
Sean. Yeah.
is their name. Yeah, they were big reanimator player, and then Entomb got banned in Legacy, and they then kind of playing on Necro since then in the Legacy format, but
Right.
has also taken a great interest in Premodern, has watched basically all of Neon Mushroom's videos, and to like brush up on the format, and then took interest in playing Ghoul. So
Great channel to watch too, by the way.
Yeah.
And okay, so let's see here. There's another Angry Hermit in the top 8 too. I'm assuming those lists are pretty similar, right? Because I don't.
yeah, we almost had an Angry Ghoul mirror in the finals. I wanted it so
It would have
bad.
been like a 5-minute chat. Finals. Like would have probably take longer
I
for them
mean,
to
it
shuffle the
was
deck
a
and to actually play.
5-minute finals.
Was it?
It was
Even against Blue White?
Yes, like
Oh.
it was not close. Like there was game 2 ended with Sean being like putting something on the stack and being like, if you have the counter spell, just do it. And
I'm
they
sure it was
had
kind of
it.
late too. Sunday, probably at this point, you're like, all right, let's just play this game and end it.
Sean was just stoked to make top 8,
Yeah.
so at all. But yeah, that day actually Chris and I faced each other too, in a match, and that was brutal.
Did you have
Yeah, I
single
just want to
wires?
say on Sunday, I lost every die roll. And the only time I actually got to be on the play was when I borrowed Jeff's rock paper scissors cards, and I was able to like go on the play like round 6. I actually got paired up against Jared again. He was on Psychotug this time. But yeah, being on the draw against elves is like not great, and you know Curran knows how the deck is, right? I think like spiritually, like Enchantress and Elves are very similar to each other. They're kind of like siblings. Like they're both trying to do really big broken things with like 2 mana green creatures, and there are important enchantments in the deck that make you just like overwhelm your opponent, and you're both playing with super broken Urza Saga lands, and you don't want to be on the draw against that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah,
Sarah
I just got run over. I
Guys,
just got basically run over,
Guys, Cradle, Sarah Sanctum, basically the same
It
thing.
was also like the perfect like lineup of having the like tap 2 forests and Llanowar elves to morph the vigilante into the cradle land drop to blow up the first Enchantress's presence. Like
Yeah.
it was like a dream scenario,
Oh,
kind
when
of.
you survivaled something away to go get the vigilante on my end step, I'm like looking at how much mana you have, and I'm like, the only way this play makes sense is if you can play it and play a cradle and blow it up. And then you
Yep.
did, and I'm like, oh god, like I like knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, it
um,
was just absolutely disgusting. And then there was like the unfortunate like missing the land drop after taking a cantrip from the Enchantress in game 2, which was just
I needed
it
that
was a
land drop.
little
I
too
would have been
much.
okay, I
Yeah.
think, if I had that
I
land
think
drop.
you would have been okay as well, like from the way I was looking at it, but it was just a little too much. Again, we're both trying to be the speedy deck and
Yeah.
like
You
having
got to be the
that
speedier deck.
window. Yep, I got it this time, and next time it probably won't be that way. Like every time I play against Enchantress, I'm just always so like it's it worries me. It stresses me out like
Because so much is
often.
like out of your
Anxiety
control.
inducing.
Yeah,
So much is out of your
exactly.
control, you know? You're just like, did
Exactly.
the cards line up right, you know?
It,
Current, you said you played someone against it. It was like their deck was like Earthquake. Was it like Pyroclasm? Whatever. What is it called?
this is it.
Was it it?
This is it.
Okay.
He dubbed it Earthquake Tribal when I asked him
Earthquake
what his
Tribal. That's what
deck
you said. It.
was.
Yeah. So quick note, and this is no way me like criticize the deck or anything like that. So in when I was trying to like find a deck to like play and record for my channel, I actually came across this when you told me. I was like, I bet this is a deck that Curran was talking about. And I actually started 2 leagues with this deck. Got paired into Dreadnought 4 times. I'll let you guess how many times I beat Dreadnought with this deck.
I'm just looking at the list really quick. You got 2 Terminates. What's wrong?
Uh, I like your optimism. 0 times, not even close.
Yeah.
And then,
That was gonna be my
Wow.
deck.
And
That
then I
was gonna
was
be my
like, you know
desk.
what? I think I'm gonna record something else. But it's a cool deck if you get paired against into,
It
I guess, goblins and elves and I don't know or maybe you just have to draw better. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't draw
it
very well.
This
it
deck wants
felt
2
like
more
the
duress, 4 cabal therapies, and 4 ravenous rats. That's what this
if
deck wants.
Yeah.
if if I had to I mean Friday and Sunday Swisses felt so different.
They
Like I
did.
played so much blue on Friday and then on Sunday none of it. It was like black and red and like, just like and then Enchantress and like, it was just like all over the place compared to Friday. It was such a different day.
Well, maybe. I mean, I'm sure some of the same people who are playing on Friday showed up on Sunday too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There
they
were
were
a
like,
bunch of
I don't want to play whatever blue deck they played on Friday. Let's play something fun. And then they go like, all right, let me pull out like the deck that plays Choking Sands and
That's
Blazing
true.
Spectre.
Jonathan V, the Goblins player on this top 8,
Mhm.
was on Stifle Not on Friday. That's what
There
I
you go.
beat him on Friday.
So they're like, I don't want to play counter spells on Sunday. I'm just gonna play some Goblin Lackeys and
Yeah.
yeah, Choking Sand is a sweet card. Like that's sort of kind of like one of the things that I again going back to like just playing Choking Sands and like what's the name of the one from Tempest? Rain of Tears.
Rain of Tears,
Yeah,
yeah.
I used to play with those cards. Like I
Ooh.
try to make them work like when I was in standard. So I was like, all right, Choking Sands and like it's got I like the Hypnotic Spectre. I never got to play with Blazing Spectre in standard, but Avalanche Rider is also one of the cards I really like to play. So yeah, I tried this deck. It looked cool, but I don't know. I just didn't think it was like no. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think if the suggestions that Chris just said, like no, adding more duresses and something else to the deck, I think Choking Sense would be the first card that I would cut. Actually, that card just it just didn't do anything.
The problem with Choking Sands is that like it's not accompanied by Rain of Tears and Icequake. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna be
Yeah.
playing like 3 mana LD spells, you need a bunch of them for them to
Mhm.
matter. Otherwise, it's like I spent a card on one of your lands and like
Pass the
probably it
turn.
was a speed bump. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Like doesn't feel good when they've got like some creature in play that's
Right.
like beating you down, you know?
Yeah, it's only good if you're ahead, right? Like if you're Dark Ritual, Hypnotic Spectre, I don't know, like you Lightning Bolt their elf, and then you Choking Sense, and maybe that at that point because you're still attacking with a creature that
Yeah.
generating some kind of advantage. But yeah, I thought the deck was all right. Like no, but just not. Flesh Reaver is the other card that like I just didn't think like fits the whole idea of the deck. But
Yeah. But Flesh Reaver was not like very impressive in the game one that we saw it come down again when I played against the deck, and I ended up winning that game. But yeah, this deck going turn one Dark Ritual Hypnotic Spectre, turn two Earthquake for one was really devastating against my
yeah,
deck.
no,
So
and then when it lines up against like that, sure, yeah. And
So
then
I'm looking
oh,
on Melee. So that like Machine Head deck
mhm.
lost to Sean on Angry Ghoul. They got a bye. They beat Sly. They lost to Mono Blue. I'm guessing this is Dreadnought. They lost to Dreadnought. They beat, what is this? They beat the Life deck.
Oh,
They
that's
beat it
definitely
was like the
yeah,
Cephalid Breakfast deck. So they beat
yeah,
that, which like that makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
And then they played against Curran. And then
Top eight.
in top 8 they lost to Angry Ghoul again.
Okay, the deck doesn't really have any doesn't have any graveyard hate or anything like that, so seems kind of hard.
I like that Melee shows you what they played against. That's nice.
Yeah, this
yeah,
one.
Melee has been an incredible system for like recapping information about tournaments, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Fantastic.
Yeah. Um. Cool. So so congratulations to Sean for getting second place. I don't know the name of the player that got first place, but
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. Yeah.
Congratulations on winning the Sunday event. What was we had here? Oh,
They
yes.
went XO on the day, by the way. I'm looking at their Melee thing. They
This
went
one.
4-0
Wow.
they went 4-0 in the Swiss, double drew, and then went 3-0 in like the elimination rounds. They played 7 rounds and won all of them.
Good job.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, really
Uh,
Fantastic,
impressive.
Valkyrie.
yeah. So, Curran, you wanted to mention that our last guest,
Yeah.
Elliot, he were you? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have more information
Elliot,
than I do on that.
from our last episode, won back-to-back challenges Friday and Saturday, with full English breakfast, Hermit Druid, full English breakfast. And I got to sit in with Elliot on Saturday and watch every single round, and it was incredible. Like, there would be times that the opponent would just obviously not have anything, and it would be very easy for Elliot to just put together a very basic win, or Elliot would be facing down a furnace or like a Tormod script and be like, or like for furnace specifically, be like, okay, if they furnace this thing, this is how we respond and win. If they furnace this thing, this is how we respond and win. There's that giant handbook that we have linked in our last
Yeah,
episode. It's 47 pages, and it is very detailed. Like,
it
all
better be
Elliot needed
47
to do
pages.
was, yeah, all Elliot needed to do was like cite these things, and he would just spatter these things at me, and I'd be listening like, wow, like, it feels like if I learn this deck, like, that's gonna be very good. It goes back to the deck specialization thing, where if you
That's
just
the
like
dedication.
hammer one deck, and I really like it because like I think it's like I think it's better than Tinker Welder because it's like survival of the fittest, like doing that, like
Hmm.
it's setting up. It feels less glass cannony, and it feels like you have all these ways to win either by combat or not by combat, or like, I don't know, like the deck just was downright impressive. And the only match I watched Elliot lose was because he misplayed. I'm not 100% sure on how exactly in the moment. I was like kind of paying attention as he was going over it, but he was like, yeah, I did this thing wrong. If he figures how to stifle exactly right here, then I lose. And the stifle not player like tanked about like what was on the stack, like the separate triggers, and stifled the right thing after about like 3 minutes of thought. And it's just like, that's not your average, like, that's not going to be an average experience. But
Hmm.
like, had he played it right, it would have been fine, apparently. And it's just like watching the deck operate is so insane, and I just kind of want to like jam this deck into losses over and over again until I figure it out, you know.
Just be prepared. I don't know if you saw Elliot playing, but like on with a Hermit Druid, in this deck actually matters the order of the cards. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Magical Line is kind of a nightmare for you to click through your whole deck. Uh,
Yeah, the thing that you can do, like there are some shortcuts where it's like, oh, I can put all my like birds and lands at the bottom
mhm,
of the graveyard first before I start to figure out, you know, what creatures I need in what order, et
right.
cetera, et cetera. Like, yeah, it is quite annoying, but I mean, I think Elliot prefers playing it online compared to paper.
Oh,
Paper is
really?
like even more of a nightmare for him, so
I feel like in paper,
interestingly
I
enough.
played this deck both. I played in paper and Magic Online, and I think in paper was a little easier because in paper you can actually just demonstrate what you're gonna do. You don't actually have
That's
to you
true.
don't have to do the
Yeah.
whole thing. Like no, especially if the person that you're playing against knows how the deck operates. Like you can just I'm gonna reanimate this thing and then exile this thing, and our chroma is gonna be a 2020 whatever, and then or you can just the Triskelion is even easier to show. Like just Triskelion, like
Yeah.
Phyrexian Devour, exile my deck, Triskelion is this
Yeah.
much, and then uh
The battlefield scrounger tech is, from my understanding, somewhat new and has just like
and
added a
this one
whole
here.
other angle. Yeah, has added like a whole other angle.
Yeah, Battlefield Scrounger was so sick. He used it in quite a few game matches to just like put back the required CMC back in for like devourer triggers and things like that. And then yeah, Animate Dead like being the funny like combo with Karmic Guide, that actually being a combo because protection from black and falling off and everything
Oh right, yeah.
is just like so
Oh, is that
wild.
why they had? Oh, that's why they play an enchantment that does that then, right?
Yeah, that's the primary reason for Animate Dead, as I understand it.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was really cool just sitting back and watching him just kind of masterfully like walk through these rounds and just laugh afterwards. It's so free, you know, like it's just so free.
Oh,
But I know that also the deck can like he talks about the times where, you know, it goes bad where you just don't draw good hands and you mulligan to oblivion and the deck doesn't do its thing at all. And yeah, it has those inconsistencies. It's not a perfect weapon, but
mhm,
like it's really good when it decides to draw hands that are functional, you know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah. I mean,
anyway.
the cool thing is that you always have the option of like turn 2 Hermit Druid, right? And then you can just probably win on turn 3. That's kind of cool that
Yeah.
you have this free wins. But yeah, so we looked up here. So the way Magic Online does they repeat, but yeah, Elliot end up going back to back uh
Yep.
winning two challenges. For some reason MTG top 8 they only had this one here published. So
They beat Tireless Tribe in the finals, I guess, of this one.
yes.
Oh,
I
shout out to this
oh
person with the reference to the Garo Gary Gege, which is a crazy Japanese noise band.
Oh, is that
um
what it is?
Yeah, it's a noise band, yeah.
What is a
as
noise
I
band?
understand it,
It's
uh,
like noise as a music genre. It's like usually like an oral assault of like noise. There's like a whole bunch of like subdivisions of noise. There's like
Hmm.
power electronics, like droney noise. There's like yeah, there's a whole bunch of different stuff. Yeah, but anyway, it's a noise band, Japanese noise band. They do like they did like a bunch of performance art stuff. So they must be a fan of that band, which is
oh
pretty sick.
yeah, I don't know that. I think Elliot actually ended up splitting technically in this one, and then
Hmm.
didn't split the other one.
Oh,
Wow.
okay,
Um, yeah, just decided. The other player decided to play it out. So the Tireless Tribe one, I think, was the split one, and
got it.
then this one they ended up playing out versus the Rock.
Did the let me see this person here. Oh, the head haunting X is way too slow.
Oh,
Engineer
yeah.
play, I guess, can be complicated, right?
Also, game 2 did end with Haunting Echoes going on the stack and then Elliot, shuffling back in, uh, or was it shuffling back in? Can we go back to Elliot's list? I think it
Sure.
may have been Crows and
Oh.
Wrecking back in the one of Volrath Shapeshifter that was in the graveyard at the time. I'm trying to see if there was something else that he did to get rid of that. I think it was, I think it had to have been he like Crows and wrecked it out or something.
Nice.
Or no, maybe he Psychotalk. I don't remember.
Okay.
I really don't
But
remember. He did
he was
something to
Chris.
get it out of the graveyard because he did have a shapeshifter in hand,
Okay.
and that would have been very dangerous.
So he was crossing reclamation to save his graveyard from getting whatever card that he needed to.
He saved it.
Yeah.
Cool. And this is
It
a
was
really
cool.
strange list of like the rock too. Like it's not what you usually expect. There's no
No deranged hermit.
no two
Yeah.
Genesis. That's different too. I mean, I'm talking like it's a very spicy thing, like two Genesis. But then they had the reflecting pool too. I guess that's probably makes sense too. Like the rock is like terrible mana base, like no free two.
Sure.
For being like a 2-color deck.
I've considered reflecting pool in Enchantress too. Just to have
it's
more
just really bad when you if you have two lands in hand and then one of them is that it's just like what.
Well, I mean, that's the only time that's actually bad in Enchantress is if the other one is like a Sarah Sanctum or something like that. But
what I think you need to do after hearing about the not Angry Hammer, the HFAB, I think, Chris, you need to start getting a guide ready, like a 45 pages guide how to play Enchantress.
Oh, I mean, I already did that, but
oh man,
it's overdue. What's the hold on?
so no, there is such a thing for Enchantress too.
Oh yeah, dude, I wrote that. I started that in like November of 2023. The last time I updated it was about a year ago. I've just been really busy. Hold on, let's see. I'll find it. And actually, at one point, it was 22,000 words. Let's see. But I split it out because I wanted to have like not the sideboard guide. It was like a matchup analysis guide.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a lot of time to write that. I'm gonna redo it soon. But let's see.
Did you have any help doing that, or you did it all yourself?
Oh no, it was all me. I mean, like also just taking stuff that I like conversations from, Discord and everything. How many pages is this thing? Yeah, this thing's long. Oh, this one, it's still going. Hold on. Still
you still updating?
Oh yeah, it's loading the whole thing. Let's see. I'll message you this and you can look at it. It's like a little outdated though.
Is that on like
it's a Google Doc?
No, is there any way I can can I link it to people that are listening to us and stuff if you want to take a look at it? Or
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put in the show notes so people can
46 pages for this one.
Wow.
But that's not counting the matchup analysis. And this is old. This is like an older version. This is oh wow, you know what's crazy? Last edited 2/4/2025, exactly a year ago today. That's kind of crazy.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, there's I'm probably gonna end up building an Enchantress website at some point, but that's like for later Chris to do. Like current Chris is too busy with stuff, but
you should call it Argothian Office of Propaganda.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think I already used that joke with Lanoir. Okay, you can use that one again. We gotta come up with a different one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot more dedication that I feel like a lazy when I hear people doing something like that.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
But see, like you gotta put the time in. This is like there are some parts of this guide that I think are a little bit too wordy, but I'll streamline. I already started writing like a new skeleton of like how I want to like streamline this, but then it's probably going to also be long because I want to add other stuff in there. But anyway, it's long. I will say this, like I didn't put nearly as much time into making mine pretty like the Feb document is. Like they've got like the nice like footers and like the colors and like, oh my god, it's so beautiful.
It looks great.
I'm gonna definitely steal a bunch of that and like try to like make mine a little bit fancier, but
Yeah, I did see. I see the one that I saw the one that Elliot sent to us. It
It's
looked real nice. It
gorgeous.
looks real nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I mean, we only got two more things we want to talk about before the end of the episode. So, one, I'm mostly gonna tell. I'm By the time this comes out, I should have a video for. I played a challenge on Tuesdays, like the noon challenge that I mean noon for
Hmm.
my time zone.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make that one work. We had a lot of snow here in Richmond recently, so I stayed at home on Tuesday, and so I made time to play it. I ended up going 3-3, so again, by the time this comes out, the video's already out. I decided to play Ponza. I had a lot of fun playing Ponza the other day, and there were like two matches that, like, I don't know, people who watch it probably like just skip it. One of them I won, but not a whole lot happened. The other one I lost, not a whole lot happened. But I think the other four matches are really were interesting to watch. That's why I published anyways. And yeah, it's just literally the same list that I have on my Mox field, just like a mono red Ponza. And then Curran, you said there was both of you guys played, right, in the Portland monthly, or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both did. Yeah, I had a really good day. I won against Sly 2-0, won against what did I play against round 2? It's gonna take me a moment. Round 3 played against Blue Green Madness 2-0, and
Is that
then ID
that's a good
ID.
matchup for you though.
Yeah, Blue Green Madness is definitely a good matchup. I'm honestly having trouble remember why I played round 2. Oh, balancing act combo.
Oh, Balancing
Oh
Teams.
yeah,
Um,
balancing things. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
played
yeah, yeah.
against Duck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, ID, ID, lose to the same Sly player I 2-0'd in the quarterfinals. I
Womp
will
womp.
say I did in game 2 just absolutely blunder it. I was in the middle of like a very deep like survival chain line, and I had a bunch of mana floating and blah blah blah, and I like Mantugo Vigilante and I flip it over. And my brain, way earlier in this process, was like, we need to take out the sulfuric vortex so we can go get the well wisher and stabilize. And then for some reason, I was like, blow up your curse scroll. And like, I like blow up the curse scroll. And then I go to survival for the well wisher. And I look back up and I go, wait a minute.
I
And
don't gain life with
like,
this.
Oh
and
no.
yeah, I just threw it away completely and absolutely. And I you know, it happens, right? Like,
Mhm.
we just choke sometimes. It was like an out of body experience watching myself just kind of like, it was not good. So,
Yeah.
I've
but
been
you
there.
know, it was a good run. Like, I had a great time, and Tangle Wire again was just like absolutely clutch, and like the balancing what
Tings.
was
Things.
tings
Yeah, because that's the name of the card. Yeah. I think that's the name of the white spell, right?
is
Balancing
it
Act is
balancing
the card, but the
act?
deck is called
Oh.
Balancing Things.
Oh, it's Balancing Act. Okay.
Balancing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
I guess I spelled it in a different language.
Yeah.
Came up in German. Yeah. Each play. Okay, so yeah, so Balancing Act. So why is it called Balancing Tings then?
It's like what the
This
deck was
is
called
why
before.
what I don't know.
Okay.
Did
I
it
have no
have?
idea.
I think it has. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Um,
Yeah, I
But
will
so
tell
Karen,
me.
you played this. Is it the same? You had the Tangle Wires in that list, right?
yeah, so I took some lessons from this like list that I've been really liking over the last month and then put Tengwar back in. So I cut Kamal, I cut the third Nantuko Vigilante, I cut the third Deranged Hermit, and then I moved a Mastercore to the sideboard, as well as the third Vigilante. I kept two main deck Vigilantes because I did find in my findings that the second one is usually more potent than the first one in the matchups it's relevant,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't really need three. Deranged Hermit was there for explosivity, and Tanglewire is fine in that. Komal was there as an alternative win condition against decks like Enchantress and other fast combo decks, but now that we have Tanglewire back, that's not necessary anymore. And then I put the second Master Chord back in the board because I was like, yeah, sometimes I do want two of this, but generally one is fine main deck for my
Mm-hmm.
purposes, and then I will
Yeah,
board up to two when it's necessary. So
Yeah.
sure.
the end.
All right. Well, fun here. So there was a there was a standard deck too, or there was an extended too.
Tings is like it's like things. It's just like a dumb way of saying things, balancing things. You're balancing like
Yeah,
everything in there.
I thought Ting was. I didn't know they were saying Tings like that back in 2007. I thought that was a more like recent development, but I guess not.
Huh.
Man,
Yeah,
humans are interesting.
And it was a deck in standard too. I didn't know that. Yeah, that was
2002.
the time that I was away from Magic, so I didn't know these things. But it looked like it was like a real deck in extended, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. Cool to see like a deck that had a history in standard and extended, like no, make its way into pre-modern. Cool. All right, balancing things.
deck is sweet. It's actually a deck that I never want to play against when I'm on Enchantress. it's it's pretty brutal.
I never know exactly what's going on, like because there's different versions of that deck. So
Yeah, there's like the
sometimes,
Terravor Obliterate version, and then there's like the
yeah,
other one. Yeah,
yeah. So sometimes, like, especially if I'm playing blue, I'm usually like, should I let this Burning Wish resolve and then get obliterated, or maybe not? Maybe they're just trying to get
yeah,
a balancing act, and I can just counter that. It's like it's always kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
it's a little
Or
complicated.
they could go get Overmaster, and then now you're in trouble.
Yeah,
You
then
know?
you have to have two counter spells. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That is that's pretty cool. It's definitely one of the
it's cool. Yeah.
more bizarre decks in the format. Um, all right. Well, do you guys want to talk about anything else before we wrap up for this
I
current?
think I'm good. I'm covered on anything. Anything you want
How
to
do you
say,
guys feel
Chris?
about the Tide Band? Did you guys already go over that?
Not really.
Oh,
Kind of. Guess we did a little bit with edit.
we did last episode, like our initial takes on it, but like now that it's been banned out of the format, I guess I don't know. I think it's been fine. I haven't really seen any like unexpected shifts on my end personally, but
I think it was great.
I don't know. I also didn't spend a ton of time in the format while it was legal, I guess.
Hmm.
So,
I think it was very good for the format.
I'm
what do you
excited
think,
for
Chris?
people to brew stuff and some more obscure decks to come
Hmm.
back, like on our Tuesday meetup in Portland this week, yesterday, I brought Rifter because it's just like super fun to play, and that deck has a terrible Tide matchup, and it's like, well, Tide's not around anymore, so I can play this,
Hmm.
and the games are super interesting, and like the games go long, and you got a lot of decisions to make, and you get to draw a bunch of cards. You get to cycle through your deck. It's so sick,
Yeah.
like that deck's not like super justifiable as a deck that you could bring to a tournament in a Tide era, but now that it's gone, it's probably still not justifiable, but it's like maybe it
It's
can get
playable.
there. It's playable,
Yeah.
yeah. It'd be cool if somebody plays like Coffers Control somewhere or Domain Control. Like it'd be
Hmm.
cool to see those decks.
Yeah. I used to play like a mono black deck that had some number of Cabal coffers.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I remember watching you play that on your YouTube and
yeah.
the Mox Forge videos too.
Yeah. It was fun. I mean, I think I might have said this in the last episode. I think just that Tide was weird because you couldn't really interact after you could only interact in a stack, right? On the stack.
Hmm.
So you had decks that could interact with the card on the stack, or you had very few decks that just didn't care. Like like elves, for instance, like they probably just didn't care so much about your lands getting exiled. I mean, you
Sure.
do, but not a no. It wasn't too bad, but I just didn't like the fact that you had to either counter in the stack or you had to counter in the stack really. Like
Yeah.
and I think in the format that we don't have cards like Force of Will, for instance. I think that's really bad
Sure.
because it feels like it goes against the philosophy of the format. But at the same time, I guess because Tide was always there since I started playing Premodern, I was always kind of like, if they ban it, great. If they don't, that's fine. Like, no, I'm not gonna quit the format because the card is there. But I think it was a positive change to the format in general. I think that opened up a lot of no decks that were being I guess oppressed by Tide. I guess like though.
The problem with Force of Will is that the Tide decks would have just also played Force of Will themselves.
Right, right. But I'm saying in general, like no, I feel like the format we're trying to play in a way that we can interact with things after they resolve and stuff, right?
Yeah.
We don't have like any spell based combo really in the format. We have the mono blue storm deck, right?
Yeah.
And there's Iggy Pop.
And AG Pop, yeah,
But like we
exactly.
don't have Tendrils in the format. Like we don't
Exactly.
have High Tide in the format. So like so that
Dream Halls too. Dream Halls is another one.
yeah, but that one you can still Dream Hall is different, like because it's symmetrical. We can interact after the card is in a battlefield. It's a little different, I think. Like we don't have like a busted show and tell deck, for instance, or anything like that too.
Yeah.
So I think having a card that you can only interact while it's on the stack for pre-modern, I don't think that's how it should be played. That
Yeah.
was kind of like my thought on that. But like I said, I do think that if the card had not been banned, I wouldn't quit the format because of that.
Sure.
But I did think that Martin took it was a positive decision for the format, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I know I looked at Tide and I was like, what is this adding to the format? You know what I mean? Is it
Mhm.
adding anything good? If it's just like making otherwise sweet decks from that era obsolete and it's not really adding anything good. Like if it's like, if it's a card that's keeping like some of the most oppressive top decks, like in line, then it's doing a service, but it was actually just being abused by most of the top decks.
Yeah.
So
And then there was other decks that started incorporating into it, right? Because at first it was just like replenish, and I don't think we like cared too much, right? Because replenish, we knew exactly where replenish was. It was like a combo deck that was
sure.
fine. And then we started seeing the mono blue tie deck.
Yeah.
But then like when Dreadnought absorbed that, and then it was like, whoa,
It was
whoa.
like, God, yeah. It's like Dreadnought. Dreadnought is basically like Premodern's equivalent of Delver and Legacy.
Yeah.
Like when Delver starts adopting a card, then it's a problem. And
Mhm.
like anyone who's played Legacy for like the last 10 years, I mean, like off the top of our head, we can think about this, right? Like Gitaxian Probe, Deathrite Shaman,
Yeah.
Ragavan, Oko, Ren and Six. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the list goes on, and
Yeah.
it's like when the top deck is adopting this and just using it against everybody else, it's like, yeah, it's probably a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was talking to a friend of mine about Deathrite Shaman, and did you play when Check Pile was a deck?
Yeah. I played
I was
it.
like, I love playing Check Pile. It was really cool because it was like a Grixis deck, but like splash for green. Like that's what it really was.
Yeah.
And I used to think like, no, if Deathrite Shaman was only being used like elves and Check Pile were using the card, I think it would probably be okay.
Sure.
But like when Grixis Delver started winning everything with that card, I was like, all right, well then I guess now it's got to go because like the one deck that's just abusing the card too much and just using then I was like, you can't. And I think that's what happened probably with Tide, right? Like Tide was all right, like when it was just replenish. The mono blue, even the mono blue Tide, I think it was okay too. But then when Dreadnought, which is a deck that's already have like a very good plan A, now has a very strong plan B.
That covers all of the things that Plan A is bad against. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's like, all right, well, then maybe we got.
They get to have it all. They shouldn't get to have it all. There was can't remember. So there was a dude who used to post some like he would post like a regular update on like meta breakdown for Legacy, and he would like rank. Can't remember who this was. He was like pretty vocal. He would do these like meta breakdowns of like what the best decks
Andreas?
were. Maybe. Not sure. But maybe there was, and I remember there was like this one part where it was like Delver shouldn't get to be like the best card advantage deck, the best the best tempo deck, the best control deck, like have like the best early game, have the best late game, and like it like listed all of these things. It's like it shouldn't get to have all of these things together. Like you should have some of these things at the expense of others, and yeah, like Tide getting added to Dreadnought in Premodern like reminded me a lot of that. I'm like, they get to just have it all,
That's when it crossed the line.
I mean, I think it was already egregious before. Like when people were pairing Parallax Tide with like Ankh of Mishra, it's like, all right, that's cool, Like that's a cute combo. But then it was just like, I'm just gonna make it so you can't play the game, and I get to have like everything. It's like, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But the thing that's cool, right, is like after it gets banned, Landstill won the Sunday SCG Con, so it's like
Right, yeah.
there was like a debate. It's like, oh, will Landstill make a comeback? And it's like clearly it's got the ability to do that, right? So, and I think that that's good for the format, right? Like Landstill should be a good deck. Sly should be a good deck. Sly already had a hard time against Dreadnought, but like I think those things make for a good format, have interaction.
Yeah, I remember like there were some talks, and I said it too. Like I think like no, oh, Enchantress is going to be the best deck in the format. I was definitely I was kind of like no, it's tongue in cheek like no one said that, but because I think Enchantress it has the potential to be the best deck in the format, but it's also kind of easy for you to hate it out. Like no, you playing a deck full of enchantments, and the format's full of like ways to destroy enchantments. Uh,
Yeah.
but and I think that's how it should be. Like you have a very strong deck, but it's never gonna just like crush everything else because if it starts doing it, every color in the format has ways to deal with it. But
Yeah,
Tide
I
was not
mean,
like that.
I went 2-3 at the Sunday monthly in Portland.
Mhm.
In Portland, I went 2-3. I lost to Snap Cradle Pop. I lost a close
Snap
game 3
Cradle
to
Pop.
Goblins. Yeah, and then I lost to Wildfire, and it was
Oh, wildfire, like
like
mm,
Kai's Wildfire. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
obviously no Grimmonolith, but
right, right.
there was one game where I was like, I got pyroclasmed and then it was Wildfire, Wildfire, Wildfire. And I was like, yeah, all right. And
Holy
then
crap! Yeah,
yeah, I mean, right. So, it's possible, right?
yeah,
And that's like not a typical red deck. It's very much a red deck, but it's also
very
an
niche.
artifact deck.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's an artifact deck too, right? It's like
right,
you can beat it, you can definitely beat it if you want
right.
to. So, and it's exciting, right? Because I think people are over preparing for Enchantress,
Hmm.
and it puts the onus on the Enchantress players to figure out like what the next counter to those counters are going to be.
Yeah.
We got to evolve and innovate again. Oath Ponza came out, we had a hard time, and then we started playing Sabo's Web. We started playing Exploration to, outpace the 1-for-1 LD, and then now Oath Ponza is a good matchup, right? We started to figure out how to make the matchup against Replenish slightly less bad, right? Like Crypt and Aura of Silence and other stuff like that.
Hmm.
Abeyance, so that we could win Opal Wave Wars, right?
Oh yeah,
You can innovate, you can innovate those things like Xanad Swarm for Dreadnought. Great,
right. Yeah,
best anti counter tech in the whole format, right? So
and
I think there will be some innovations that come out of this.
I can cut the carpet of flowers on my sideboard too.
Honestly, I never thought that it really needed to even be there in the
Oh,
first
you think so?
place. Like,
Okay, I liked it a little
nah,
bit.
it's
But
cool, but it's like it makes like matchups easier to win, but most of the time you can just like win without it.
gotcha. Karen,
Yeah,
what
you
do
can
you,
just.
Karen, do you still think the same way about the Tide? Do you think it's better if it's gone, or what do you think?
I think I mean I think it's probably better that it is gone ultimately. Just because I don't know, I see how it locks down those strategies and everything like that. So but I also had a great mono blue tide matchup, so I don't know. Like
Yeah, you
it's
lost. You lost a good matchup.
yeah, it is like it gives and it takes, right? Like,
Yeah,
but if it's
yeah.
better for the community, obviously good move. But like, yeah, it's whatever.
I'm excited for Premodern to make rampant growth great again.
Well, not
Yeah,
yeah, not all of us are playing Priest of Titanias and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
that's right.
uh, all right, what do you guys think about I gotta ask Chris. Also nice shirt, Chris. I just realized there's an
Oh,
alien
my
shirt.
alien shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say Necropotence, yay or nay?
No, absolutely
God
not.
damn it.
I love
Okay.
Necropones, and it would not be healthy at all.
God damn it. All right. Cool.
It's just too good, dude. It's too good. Like, they could do if Necro got unbanned, they would have to do what they do in middle school and ban Dark Ritual.
Oh, is I didn't know Dark Ritual's been in middle school. I was playing
Yeah,
hero games of middle
it's
school.
because Necro is
Okay.
legal.
All right.
Yeah,
And then the last one. What's the name of the thing that makes squirrels again? Squirrel's Nest. No, or Earthcraft.
Squirrel Nest makes squirrels. Earthcraft lets you
Yeah,
combo with it.
Earthcraft, the one that's yeah.
I played a middle school event with Enchantress,
Mhm.
and I did pretty good. I think I got top 4 in it, and I
Mhm.
had Earthcrafts in there, and I wasn't like super heavy on the Squirrel Nest combo. I still had Opal Wave, which I still won most of my matches with that.
Mhm.
But it's actually like slow to try to kill somebody with infinite squirrels. Like
Yes.
it's like really slow to do that. Like I think like if the stars align I think like turn 3 is like the earliest that you can make them, and then you're attacking for lethal on turn 4. That's like too slow for like a lot of decks,
Hmm.
a lot of matchups, and you need to like it's like an aura that you need to put on a land, and like Oath Spec is gonna be the best, like one of the best decks in the whole format. So it's like, you know
Okay.
what I mean?
So you
Like,
think it'd be
yeah,
safe? So you think it'd be safe to unban Earthcraft in Premodern?
I think Earthcraft is super sick, and it would make some decks better, but it would I don't think the Earthcraft would break the format. I think the deck that you would have to worry about breaking it more than anything else would probably be Elves.
Oh, we
I
didn't
think
get to
Elves would
untap Prado, I guess.
no, because you can only untap basics.
Oh, it's only basics.
You can only untap a
Oh, I
basic.
haven't seen that card in forever, so okay.
Yeah. Obviously Enchantress is going to want to use it, but there were like a lot of times where like it just kind of didn't really do anything. But being able to use like an Enchantress to untap a land that has a wild growth on it, super sick. I
Oh, yeah.
actually what back in my early days of like brewing and not knowing how to make good decks, I had this like mega convoluted combo that had to do with like getting like multiple wild growths on a mountain, playing Earthcraft, and then having like enduring renewal with Ruck Egg and Ashnod's Altar,
Hmm.
and you could make infinite 4/4 Rucks. It was like some ridiculous like 6/7 card combo, but like I was a casual player, I didn't know what I was
Right.
doing, and I was like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing. So when I think of Earthcraft, I think back of that, but like obviously it's good with Squirrel Nest, but it's still like slow to kill somebody with infinite squirrels.
Hmm.
And Engineer Plague beats it. Pyroclasm. I mean, Spice and Dice beats it for a turn, right? I don't
Right.
know. Like, I think it's like you're gonna. I don't think that Earthcrafted Squirrel Nest is more broken than Opal Wave.
I know.
I'll just put
I
it
was
that way.
thinking as a card in general. Like I didn't think the combo with a
I think it's fine. I
yeah.
think it would be fine.
Okay.
There
All
are
right.
people that are like, no way would it be fine. I think it's actually not even that.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. And it's also like mega expensive too. So
Yeah. It's a reserve list card. Yeah. So
it's a reserve list
yeah.
card. Yeah.
Maybe that's a real reason not to unban it. Like because it'll be very hard for people to get their hands on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
I
Cool.
think it would be fine though. I mean, I think Opal Wave is one of the most broken things that you can do in the whole format. And like, honestly, Dreadnought's one of the most broken things to do in the whole format. Like, Dreadnought can just kill you before you get Scrollcraft online.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
they'll
true.
just daze you into oblivion and then just kill you, like attack you 2 times and kill you. So it's
That's true. And it's a
like if
reserve
you
list.
if you think about like the way that you can actually prevent that from happening, it's going to involve turn 1 bees. You need to be on the play. You need to play Earthcraft. You need to probably have like a wild growth in there somewhere, and then you like make infinite squirrels on like turn 4 or 5. Like
Hmm.
that's just way too slow, man. Like you might be dead by that time.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. Yeah, but I guess maybe because it's a reserve list card, maybe the reason to keep it banned. So it'd be very hard for people to get their hands on four copies.
I hope that nothing gets changed for a long time. I think 3 years for every ban list
Oh,
update is
you
probably
probably
okay.
that's probably how it's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna ban or unban anything anytime soon.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
All right. Curran,
Yeah.
do you have anything you want to say before we
Uh, not really. No, I just want to thank Chris for joining us this evening and hanging out and everything. It was honest. It was a pleasure hearing your thoughts and on Enchantress and hearing your tournament run and everything. It was
Thanks,
awesome to
man.
chat with you, man. So,
Yeah. Yeah, this is fun.
do you guys have any future events coming up or
at the end of the month we have a team trios event on a Saturday,
oh cool.
leading into the March monthly on the Sunday, March 1st. So it's gonna be kind of cool. I'm on one of the teams. So Chris, are you playing?
I'm playing.
Nice.
What
I'm
where
playing. I'm
Yeah.
on a team.
where are the formats?
Premodern, Premodern, Premodern.
It's unified.
Oh, it's Unified
Team.
Pre-Modern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah. And what's important about the monthly is that it feeds into like the Tournament of Champions thing that we're doing.
Mm.
So there's a big Tournament of Champions thing that's happening. So if you win an event, you get to be invited to a special tournament next year. super sick. There's like slots that are reserved for locals, and then there's slots that are reserved for like out of town people. So come play the Trios event and come jam with us. I am predicting that the monthly on March 1st will be the biggest monthly. It'll be interesting to see how big it is, but yeah, hit us up on Discord.
Unify is like when you can only have 4 copies of the same card throughout
Right.
all 3 decks.
The
right?
whole team.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so like each person could have like at least one Tormod script. There's another version of it where only one player gets to have a card, but we voted and it's unified across the whole team.
Gotcha.
So I think that ends up being better.
Cool.
I think so too. I agree with that, definitely.
All right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, me, unfortunately, I don't have any Premodern coming up for me in paper, at least. One of the stores in Richmond is trying to not like monthly, but like one-off like tournaments here and there. So I'm waiting on that. We used to have a monthly like get together, but those, I think I already talked to Curran a few times. Like the numbers kind of kept going down, and then I think the stores in Richmond realized that maybe it's better to just have like one-off bigger tournaments, and then people actually show up than having little meetups. And so I'm waiting for that. That's my next planned like no paper Premodern event. And yeah. So
What are you gonna play?
Depends when it is. Like if it was like next month, probably Enchantress. I think I already have the deck slipped up. If it's like, I don't know, in a month and a half from now, I don't know, maybe I'll see how I'm feeling. Like
Ponza again?
No, probably not Ponza.
Coffers control.
No, if I'm trying to win, I was gonna say the deck you just mentioned, the one with the double red spell.
Devastating Dreams.
Yeah, but I don't know, those decks are like, it's just so grindy to play in paper. I think Enchantress is just way easier for me to play something that's more than one round, because like decks that I have too many decisions, like that one is like, I feel like by round.
You think you have more decisions to make in the Devastating Dreams deck?
Yes, because they're very marginal.
Oh,
Enchantress,
yeah, maybe.
Enchantress gets to the point that like it doesn't really matter what you do.
You can hit garbage time, but like all the decisions leading up to that get you to that point.
Right,
so
exactly.
You can't mess those up, though.
Yeah. But after you have 2 Enchantress effects in place, like like if it was Magic Online, I could just like click random number buttons and still win. But getting to that point is usually the tricky part, right? And then but it's like, oh, they're playing I don't know, goblins. Let me put this solitary confinement in play and just win a game. Or if they're
they could still trickle domain you. I mean, Devastating Dreams is a card I would much rather have against goblins than solitary confinement.
Yeah, but I think I'll probably play Enchantress or some kind of oath
Mr.
deck.
T.
Yeah, something like, or Mr. T maybe.
The Devastating Dreams deck is so sick, dude.
Yeah.
You should play it more. You should do another video. I liked watching that video.
Maybe I'll
shout out to Romario on all of his videos, dude. You're like you're becoming like the new Pablo. It's great.
Yeah.
I like your commentary too. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. All right, cool.
All right, man.
So with that being said, thanks everyone for watching. Chris, thanks for hanging out with us. Curran, looks like Curran's about to tap out because of his buzz balls and not Gatorade, Mountain Dew.
No, dude, I gotta go to band practice.
You gotta go to band practice. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. We're not gonna hold you up then. Again, so we'll talk to you guys next week and next episode, and solid app.
Solid app.